of sleep last weekend, by the way.
I'm surprised with all your travels, and I'm glad you got such a great game out in Kentucky.
Oh,
I did.
Great.
I'm already planning leg 2, which is next weekend. I'm gonna have to fly into Detroit, and I'm trying to finagle my way into Patriots Lions on Sunday night too, because they just happen to be in town the same weekend. I mean, to me,
that would be a crime if you don't go. Yeah,
it would.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I totally agree. And then
missed opportunity.
And then I was looking at the schedule too. The University of Maine basketball team, the men's basketball team, November 10th goes out and takes on San Francisco. The 49ers are home that weekend.
There you go.
I don't know how these things just happen to happen, but I guess people want me to go around, so I guess I'm going to have to do that.
Well, you know, when you're living the high life like you gotta.
True.
People want you there. You know?
Yeah. Remember us when you're big time, okay?
Yes. Yeah. Good point.
It's so ridiculous, Michael. I've been doing radio for over a decade. I know you've been writing now since
almost 2, but yeah.
For almost 2.
Counting.
But you and I appear on TV. You appear on TV a couple of times, and then all of a sudden, it's like I can't get through dinner at Heidi's anymore. Benny, how you doing, buddy? How's it going on? Like, what in the hell?
Anonymity's long gone, right?
It's
you
gone.
gotta wear the dark sunglasses, use an alias when you travel.
I was hoping you would give me some sort of advice on that. It had been a long time since I've been on TV.
I can give you a few aliases, but not over the air.
Yeah, I totally get
work.
that. Yeah, Johnny Montana doesn't really work right now.
Really do it?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really do it. So Bonnie Eagle Portland this weekend looks like it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I think this is going to tell us a lot about both teams, really.
Yeah, I agree, and certainly from the Portland perspective, I think everyone kind of views them as the favorite in A North, although I know Oxford Hills certainly has a claim. But I think looking big picture, can anyone from the North conceivably match up with one of the traditional powers in the state game and give them a competitive game? I think that's what we're going to discover, at least start to learn this week. If Portland can go to Bonnie Eagle and win, or even play well and compete, I think that's going to bode very well from them down the road, several weeks. We're still a long way off from November 17th, but, it's never too early to start thinking about that. But Portland's out to a great start. Big win over Wyndham to start, and then last week, I thought they'd really get pushed by Chevrolet, and they did for the better part of a half. Chevrolet just really shot themselves in the foot. 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions for Jamal Mariba of the Bulldogs, and they just pulled away and won. So, they're looking like the teams from 2015 and 2016 that had the great rushing attack, a stout defense, very opportunistic, and was able to run over most opponents after a little bit of a down year last year, and they still went to the regional final last year. But after that, here they are back at one of the powerhouses again. And it's funny, I can't remember the last time Bonnie Eagle was kind of lurking in the weeds like this, and no one was really talking about them much. Most of the attention down here is on Scarborough as the defending champs. Thornton Academy, I think, they're viewed by many people as the team to beat. And I think people think Bonnie Eagle's still good, but maybe not at that level of those top 2 teams. I'm sure the feeling in Standish is a little different. I'm sure they feel like they're every bit Scarborough and TA's equal. I know they're looking forward to proving that later in the season, but for now, this will be a good litmus test for them. And, Portland, that they can do some things. It's not just a, straight, 3-yard cloud of dust rushing attack anymore. They can throw the ball. They get the ball outside. They have a couple different guys that can carry it. Sam Note can run and throw at quarterback. And, like I said, that defense is going to be tough. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I expect this will be a close game. And, if Portland does perform well, it's certainly going to bode well for them as we look ahead.
Talking with Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster and theforecaster.net. The other game that I'm looking at this weekend, it's not so much in your area, but, just in case you need to drop this knowledge, because this is not my week to be on TV. I'm on even-numbered weeks.
Okay.
Which is good. I'm now gonna have to get different colored polos that fit, because I was going through the polos the other night and I'm like, nope, fat polo, fat polo, fat
that's
polo.
That's a problem to have, though.
It really is. It's nice. It's like, are you?
I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I will at some point. I hope so.
It truly reminded me of like when I'd wear my dad's clothes out Halloween trick or treating because I was quote dressed as a hobo. You know what I mean? That's really It's really what it reminded me of. But Oxford Hills at Sanford this weekend, even though Sanford, isn't up there in that Bonnie Eagle echelon, I think for us to make sure and know that Oxford Hills is on or near that Portland level, they have to win this road game and win it convincingly this weekend, because this, in the 6 years that I've been covering Oxford Hills, this is a game they will typically lose by like a touchdown, and you'll be like, how the hell did you lose that game? And to a man, everybody will be like, I don't know, I just want to lose the game. You know, like it's just because we see that happen with teams all the time. So that to me is going to be a big one to be scoreboard watching. Of course, I plan on being down there tomorrow night, but just to be scoreboard watching for that and around, because if they do win that, I don't see a lot of other trip-ups between now and then for them, and that Week 7 matchup between Portland and Oxford Hills could possibly decide where the regional final gets played on November 10th.
Right, great point. And I'm hoping that they don't stumble, and that would be a great matchup looking ahead. Even though I probably wouldn't get to that game, I would be following you closely at that point. But coming into the season, there was a lot of buzz around Sanford, right? And this was an opportunity for them. They weren't able to get the job done in their first home game against Scarborough, but now they get another crack at Oxford Hills, and it certainly looks like it's shaping up that Oxford Hills is probably the second best team. I know Chevrolet still feels like they can make a run. They certainly had their moments against Portland the other night, but they have some things they need to clean up before they can get to that point. So, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that game.
That was my next question for you, because I read your article, and it seemed like the game was a lot closer than the score indicated, but it seemed like every time there was a mistake to be made, just like it was kind of weird. The Chevrolet teams of old would capitalize on the mistake that a Portland or a Deering made. And now, when Chevrolet makes a mistake, other teams are pouncing on it. It's really it's like Bizarro World Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of funny because Peter Gwillim was on the sidelines, the former standout quarterback for Chevrolet, who went on to be part of that Ohio State program that won a national title. He wasn't actually, on the field, but he was part of that team. He was back and on the sidelines for the game the other night, and it was a different Chevrolet team from the 2010, 2011 championship squads. But they went down 21-0 early, and I was impressed that they fought back. They got up to 21-7, and then twice they drove deep into Portland territory. Really felt like the game had the potential to turn in their favor. But first they fumbled, and then they threw an interception that was returned a long way, which set up a touchdown. And then right before halftime, talk about special teams playing such a huge role. For starters, one of Portland's early touchdowns came on a punt return. But right before halftime, Portland punted and pinned the Stags inside their one. And sure enough, on the next play, their quarterback couldn't get out of the end zone. So, just like that, it's a 30-7 game when it could have been 21-14 at one point, and that was pretty much it at that point. But I think if they play again, Chevrolet has the confidence, like, all right, if we don't turn the ball over, play better on special teams, we'll be right there with them. Easier said than done, but, at least they can say that.
Talking with Michael Hoffa from The Forecaster and theforecaster.net. What have you seen for soccer and field hockey action so far? And also volleyball. How are you sneaking volleyball in there? I know that's a thing now, too.
Volleyball, and it's a fun sport, and I imagine it'll eventually make its way up to your neck of the woods, but it's a lot of fun, a lot of energy in the gym. I'm actually doing my first volleyball match tonight. Scarborough, the defending A-champ, going up against Falmouth, who will probably be right in the mix for the championship this year, so I'm looking forward to that. I had a great field hockey game last night. Biddeford was probably the favorite in Class A South. I got to see why. They're very skilled, very fast. They played Chevrolet over at Fitzy. It was a game that was supposed to be played Tuesday, but it rained over at Chevrolet, and they can't play on their field, so they moved it over to Fitzy under the lights last night. And just a great game, playoff atmosphere back and forth. Biddeford won it late. So that's probably the best field hockey game I've covered so far. And, done a fair amount of soccer, too, and, the theme continues to be parity and maybe some surprise results. Even Yarmouth had their long unbeaten streak of, dated back to 2016, 33 games. That was finally snapped the other night by Freeport, and Freeport very much legit. They might be the team that's going to push Yarmouth the most this year. I've got Portland Chevrolet boys today. They're two of the many very good teams in A South, even though it looks like Gorham might have a little bit of a leg up on everyone right now. They've already won at Portland and at Scarborough, and they're looking very, very good. So, keep an eye on the Rams. And then on the girls' side, very similar story. A lot of good teams. Gorham with a close win at Chevrolet the other day. Scarborough keeps rolling, and I know there's a lot more to come. That's the fun thing about having this many good teams. It seems like almost every day you're getting a good matchup that's going full 80 minutes down to the wire, or even in some cases into overtime. So expect more of the same in those sports.
Talking with Michael Hoffa from The Forecaster and theforecaster.net. Talk about a few different things today. How much farther ahead do you think Kennebunk is than everybody else in Class B South right now? Like, what? And that's some sort of machine down there. But I look at, I thought Falmouth was going to be near the top there for a while. I thought Greeley was kind of building towards stuff. But Kennebunk has just seemed to lap everybody. Like it's just come down to coaching, or what do you think?
What sport are we talking about?
Football.
Oh, well, you got Marshwood for first and foremost. I think it's still Marshwood and Kennebunk. Yeah, definitely. And this might be Kennebunk's year. They've been knocking on that door so loudly here. This might be their year, but Marshwood doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Marshwood's at Greeley tomorrow, and Greeley's coming off a big win. And, we just continue to marvel at what Greeley does year after year. I think they've got 22 kids this year. They lost to Noble in the first game, and I think that, the consensus was, all right, attrition's going to finally catch up to this program, and they're going to go 2-6 this year. But, they took apart Mount Blue last week, and I don't know that they can beat Marshwood, but I would never bet against them, let me put it that way. They always seem to rise to the occasion. And Falmouth, even, without Jack Bryant, they barely lost to Brunswick in week 1. They turned around and got a nice win over Brewer last week. Now they play Gorham, who's another intriguing team that looks like that, finally after a lot of struggles, it looks like that program's starting to rise again. And, we remember when Gorham was very good and battling for regional and state titles, so it'd be good to see them back in the mix. So I still think Falmouth is a very dangerous team, but, for now, it's Marshwood, Kennebunk, take your pick in what order, but they're certainly on a collision course, I think, in B-South.
Yarmouth football's kind of struggled to start the year a little bit. Just kind of a downswing for the program at this point?
Yeah, and again, numbers are a big issue. Injuries are an issue. I think, they had a great opportunity in week 1. They're up 19-7 at Oak Hill. I think if they won that game, it would have really propelled them out to a great start this year. But they let it slip away. And, of course, they had no chance against Lovett last week. They play a John Bapp's team. This team, they've got to travel way north on tomorrow night. And, it's a game that's very winnable. I think if they can win that and get some confidence, maybe they'll get going. But, yeah, ever since they got to the state game a couple of years ago, it's really been a struggle. And, a lot of it really is just due to numbers, and some of the top kids they thought were going to play haven't been able to because of injury. So when you have that small of a roster, it really, really hinders you.
Talking with Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster and theforecaster.net. You look like you almost had a question. Did you almost have one?
I'm enjoying this. This has been great.
All right, good. All right. Well, Michael, I'm out. Where are you at tomorrow night?
I'll be at Levitt Cape, which I think is a very intriguing game. Yeah. Cape coming off a big one-sided loss down at Wells. Probably not a big surprise that they lost to Wells, but losing 40-14. And one of the Cape touchdowns was on defense. So they really did nothing against Wells. And they need to bounce back quick because we know how good Levitt is. And I think if Cape starts 1-2, and you're looking at how well Levitt and Gardner and teams like that are playing, they're going to have an uphill climb. But I think if Cape can return to form tomorrow night, make a statement at home, then they probably jump right back into that favorites role in C-South because, they don't have to worry about Wells in the playoffs. Wells is in B now, and Wells will probably be in B, for all intents and purposes. We even touched on that on the show the other night, how formidable they are. But as far as Cape Elizabeth is concerned, they just need to, if they can bounce back this week, then that's just that's a distant memory, that Wells game. And then it's business as usual, but it won't be easy. So I think that's going to be a fun matchup, and I'm looking forward to that one.
No, I agree with you. Levitt has outscored opponents 74-8, over the last 2 weeks. And the opening week win was the one that I think allowed you to say, oh, wow, Levitt looks like they're back on track beating MCI.
Right,
MCI's
crushing them,
pretty good team.
They're healthy.
And they're healthy, so and they've got a good young quarterback who knows the system a little bit in Wyatt Hathaway. It's almost like he grew up with it or something.
Yeah, I would guess that by osmosis almost.
Pretty much.
Probably. Like when some kids have the night thing, and it does all these sweet things like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and stuff like that. He was like X, Y, slant, stick.
Spider Y banana, whatever.
Yeah, Spider Y banana. Yeah, oh yeah. That was totally 110%. Michael Hoffer from The Forecaster. You can follow him on Twitter at 4sports, F-O-R-E Sports.
You didn't get his Patriots pick.
Oh yeah, I got to get your Patriots pick.
Yeah, because it went so well last week.
You did. I'm hoping you pick against them again this week, actually.
I might as well because it worked, and I do think it'll be. I was very encouraged by how well they played in this week one for the most part, especially on defense.
Oxford Hills and Sanford underway here at the brand new Alumni Stadium. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. For those of you watching on the MBR video feed, we apologize. We had to cut off Michael Hoffer. He was a little long-winded, I suppose. So we're now live for the broadcast. Sanford received the opening kick. Welcome in on 96.9, the Ox as well. No pregame show for you today. We're airing a long interview at MBR.org. You can check out the video feed. We are in the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Oxford Hills won the opening toss. They deferred to the second half, so Sanford received the opening kick, returned it out to the 32-yard line. That's where the Spartans will start. 1st and 10 from their own 32, and the handoff goes right up the middle, and diving forward to the 35 is the back on the carry that time for the Spartans. That was Saucier, number 28, the junior running back, as Travis May with the tackle. So a little bit of a rush start, but my name's Aaron Morse. We got Tasker Winslow here, former Viking as well. And let's set the stage a little bit for you here in this one. Right now it's 2nd down and 7 for the Spartans. Oxford Hills is 2-0 on the season. They blew out Lewiston, and they blew out Edgeworth Little as well. Meanwhile, Sanford is 0-2, but that comes with a pretty big asterisk, as here's the handoff on the sweep, and running to the outside, and then cutting back in the middle is number 4, Carson Bickford, a senior split end for the
ball off to
Spartans, who gets a couple yards, but it's going to be 3rd down. Sanford, I mentioned the asterisk. They have played some tough opponents, Tasker. Scarborough, defending state champions in the opener, 41-13. Scarborough won, and then Bonnie Eagle beat them 47-8. That's a brutal schedule.
I mean, yeah, that's a tough way to open up the season. I feel for any team that has to do that.
Levine takes a snap on 3rd down, throws a good pass to the near side. It's complete. Fumbling the ball out of bounds, but not before he gets the 1st down, is Leighton Bickford, 6'5", tight end, a big target for Levine, and he does move the chains. LaFrance stripped him, but it got out of bounds.
Right, yeah, he happened to be on the sideline, so it went out of bounds before anyone could dive on it. But I mean, this Oxford Hills defense, you have to remember, still hasn't been scored on. Their twos have been scored on in their special teams, but they've got a tough defense, and Sanford's going to be a real test for them.
Levine hands it off again on a sweep. That time, number 28, Caleb Saucier again, junior 6-footer running back. A very good defensive player for them. He'll get a couple yards to the Oxford Hills 40-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down for the Spartans. If you're watching on the MBR video feed, the Spartans are in red. Vikings in white and green with the gold helmets. J.J. Worcester with a stop on that play. Levine fakes the handoff, rolls to his left. Now he'll throw, and he's got a wide-open receiver on the near side who truck sticks a defender at the 30 and dives to the 25-yard line. Good catch and run that time by James Megason, 5'10", 222 pounds, and looked like Megatron that time.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing corner, what you have to do is you need to force them inside to let your linebackers and safeties run the alley and make a tackle. He kind of just put his shoulder down trying to push him out of bounds, and a good running back or receiver isn't going to go down from that.
1st and 10 from the Oxford Hills 24-yard line. Levine takes a snap, option right, and he will fake the pitch and run it himself, hurdles a defender, and then is slammed down after a couple yards on that one. Emerson Brown was in the mix of that one. Levine with the keeper.
By number 43, Cole Dunham.
Cole Dunham, though, all over that one also. Dunham, one of their leading tacklers. He is a leading tackler on the season.
21 of Oxford Hills.
So a 3-yard gain on the play. You might hear the PA announcer in the background, not quite sure. We're right by some speakers here, but he's got nice and clear voice. 2nd and 7, 9:31 to go in the 1st quarter. They do have an official's timeout. One thing you should know, folks, and it's unfortunate, Cam Slicer, broken leg in practice yesterday. He is out for the season. Number 5, one of their star receivers, also a key player on defense. And Colton Carson a little bit limited in this game as well, Tasker.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible to see Cam Slicer go down, especially when he's leading the North in receiving yards. But it's something that you're going to have to deal with every year, and I found we had to do it last year with Dawson Stevens going down to an ankle injury. It's just something you deal with in the sport.
Receives the handoff.
On 2nd down, Saucier got the handoff, got it inside the 20,
near the line of scrimmage,
down to the 19-yard line. Although Travis May able to make the stop there. So 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Spartans. So Sanford, even though they're 0-2, some really tough opponents to start the year, and
Right.
they are driving. Levine on 3rd and 5, how the shotgun takes a snap. Back to pass, pump fakes to left, now rolls to his right, still rolling. He'll throw it on the run. He's got a receiver inside the 5, spinning, diving for the end zone. That's a touchdown for the Spartans.
Touchdown, Sanford.
The Sanford Spartans get the touchdown. That looked like big number 89, Matthew Romano, a senior tight end.
Pass from Xavier Levine, complete to number 89.
It was
Matt Romano.
for the touchdown, and that's the first time all year the first team defense for the Vikings have been scored upon.
And on the first drive of the game.
Yes, it was. Opening drive, an impressive one. Extra point for Levine is up, and the QB kicks the extra point as well with 8:29 to go in the first quarter. It's Spartans 7, Vikings getting the ball at the other end of the break. This is the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox, and the Game of the Week there on MBR.org, brought to you by Spectrum Healthcare Partners.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Tasker Winslow, welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. The score is Sanford 7, Oxford Hills nothing after an impressive opening drive capped off by an Xavier Levine touchdown pass to Matthew Romano, one of his tight ends, to give the Spartans a 7-0 lead after Levine converted the extra point with 8:29 to go in the first quarter. And now Sanford will kick it away. Again, this is a team that lost their opener here to the defending state champions and then lost to Bonnie Eagle next week. Bonang receives the kick, and there goes Bonang to the 40, 45, and he's tackled at the 49. Almost to midfield, Michael Bonang, an impressive return.
I mean, yeah, he had to usually
Michael
have Cam
Bonang
Slicer back there, but Mikey had to step up, and he did his job there and brought it almost out to the 50.
Take over at the 50.
All right, so the Vikings have it at midfield, basically, 1st and 10. They gave him all the way to the 50-yard line. Colton Carson, a little bit limited today because of a nagging injury, but he's out there to play. He's got 3 wide receivers in the shotgun to start for Carson. From midfield, takes a snap, back to pass, throws near side, a little high, intended for Bonang at the Sanford 45-yard line. It's incomplete.
Pass incomplete, intended for number 23, Michael Bonang.
2nd and 10 for Oxford Hills. 8:18 to go. First quarter, trailing 7-0. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Alicia running the board back in Norway. We got Tyler to our left running the camera on MBR.org for this Game of the Week live from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. 2nd and 10 for Colton Carson in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. That's Bonang. He'll hand it off instead up the middle, and a little bit of a hole for, I believe, Emerson Brown. It is, and he gets to the 46 of Sanford.
Emerson Brown with the carry.
This is a brand new
by
facility. It is
Matt
so
Romano.
brand new. This is only the 2nd football game they've ever played on it, and the high
Gain
school
of 5
to our left
for the
is not
Vikings.
open yet. They've been going to
Third and
school in the
5
old
at
high
the
school,
Sanford
and they're moving in a
45.
couple weeks. So a lot of changes here for Sanford. Sanford last won a state title in football in 1998, Oxford Hills in 2001. Carson takes the snap from the gun, looking to run it. He's one of the leading rushers in Class A North, and he breaks one tackle, and he drags a few down to about the 41-yard line, maybe a yard short of the first down. Entering this game,
Quarterback keeper
Colton
by
Carson's the
Colton
2nd
Carson.
leading rusher in Class A North, 225
Stopped by
rushing
number
yards
57,
and 5
Jeff
rushing
Johnson,
touchdowns
and
through
89,
2
Matt
games for
Romano.
Colton Carson. So he's been outstanding. Only Zach Elowich of Portland has more rushing yards on the season. Tasker, it feels like it's going to be Portland, Oxford Hills in the north, but it's very early.
Right. I mean, it's hard to say this early in the season, but I would have to agree with you with what I know right now.
This is a 4th down attempt by Colton Carson, and he'll get the first down. He power right down to the 38.
Quarterback keeper by Colton Carson. Good for an
He's not your
Hills
typical
first
running quarterback.
down.
I mean, he runs more like a running back, but
He's a bruiser.
Yeah.
He looks good. You said he might be limited a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, limited by himself at least. That, because he knows he was a little sore, but
3 wide receivers for Carson on 1st and 10 inside Spartan territory. His throw is tipped and incomplete. Very good coverage that time by number 28 in red. That is Caleb Saucier, who was all over that one. He nearly picked it off.
That will bring up a 2nd and 10.
You can already tell in the passing game they're not getting every open route that they want like they have the first 2 games. It's actually going to be a challenge to get some good combo routes and get some receivers open.
2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line of the Spartans. 6:35 to go, first quarter. Vikings trail 7-0. Worcester in motion for Oxford Hills. The handoff goes to LaFrance, running off left tackle. LaFrance trying to get the edge, and he is spun down. That was a big hit that time by James Megason, senior linebacker, bringing down LaFrance at the 36-yard line. Also in on the stop was John Garnsey as well. So a couple guys pursuing him that time.
Sanford 36.
You just said Vikings trailing 7-0. That's something I haven't heard this year.
We haven't heard this season. Right. They've been striking early and often. 4 wide receivers here on 3rd and 8. Clock moving, 6:03 to go, first quarter for Carson in the offense. Carson takes a snap, back to pass, has some time, over the middle, it's tipped and intercepted by Levine. Levine is tripped up at the 30-yard line, but Xavier Levine, Carson's counterpart at quarterback and safety, gets the interception.
By Xavier Levine.
So far, Xavier Levine has been the star of this game. A passing touchdown to Matthew Romano, and now an interception.
We're only 2 series into this game, and that quarterback, he is an amazing athlete. Just from what we've seen when he's carried the ball, and then just that, he tipped it, spun around, found the ball, and got the interception. I mean, he's looking really good already.
Yeah, he got his hands on it, tipped up in the air, and then reeled it in. So Levine in shotgun on 1st and 10 from their own 30. Some middle misdirection. They just pound it right up the middle, though, with James Megason. They got a number of guys who can run the football, and Megason brings the ball to the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Gain of 2 for Sanford. Gain of 7, rather. Second
down and 3 yards to go. 5:30 to remaining first quarter, and this is the Spartans' 2nd drive of the game. 2 wide receivers to the left of Levine, who takes the snap. He'll hand it off up the middle, bouncing off one defender, and then cutting it to the outside. And again, a tough run for a first down this time by Caleb Saucier out across the 45 to the 46-yard line before he's driven out by a pair of Vikings.
Caleb Saucier with the handoff, stopped by
Cole Dunham finally got there along with Yannick Lutzka. And that'll bring up a first down after he moves the chains.
Sanford. First down.
5:16 remaining in the first quarter, and the Spartans, who again, on paper 46. You see 2-0 versus 0-2, but you have to factor in who Sanford's been playing.
Right, and this shows the the gap between the North and the South. It's really 2 different leagues.
Levine and 3 wide receivers, option right, pitches it. They're looking to maybe to throw it, but then now pulling it down and running the ball to midfield before he's finally stopped is Caleb Saucier again, the junior, looking pretty impressive. I thought for a moment he might try to throw that ball.
Yeah, it looked like he was pulling up to throw it, but he might have just been trying to put the moves on. I couldn't really tell.
He got basically to midfield. That'll bring up 2nd down, about 7 yards to go for Sanford. Right atop that Spartan helmet there at midfield.
This doesn't seem like the Oxford Hills defense we've watched the first 2 games. They seem slow for some reason.
A little bit of a slow start here. Sanford's been moving the ball nicely. Levine's been a big part of that. He's got his big tight end, Romano, split out wide, top of the field, top of your screen on the MBR video feed. Back to pass, Levine throws near side. Leaping grab in Oxford Hills territory right by the first down marker that time by Carson Bickford, a senior split end. And that is very close to a first down. It is a first down to the 43-yard line of Oxford Hills.
Turner.
Turner on the stop, but a good route run that time by Bickford.
Spartan first down. Now in Viking territory.
Hopefully they can get a stop here and get more into rhythm.
43.
Because, you know, they had a long bus ride. They got here late, didn't have much time to warm up.
Levine takes a snap, and they hand it off, running off right tackle and shedding a couple defenders, and diving for the 40-yard line is Megason again. We've seen a lot of Caleb Saucer, number 28, and James Megason, number 27, running the football right now
Megason
for the Spartans.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 at the 40.
So Levine, he's only a junior, 6'2", 175 pounds, moving the ball at quarterback in the shotgun with a couple wide receivers, a couple tight ends in there as well. Fakes the handoff, Levine to run up the middle, and he is hit hard. First met that time by Austin Dowdy, and maybe a yard to the 39.
Yeah, that's not someone you want to meet at the line of scrimmage.
Not at all. Dowdy, 6'4", 255-pounder, plays both ways for the Vikings. 3:15 remaining first quarter. It's 7-0 in favor of the Spartans. They have the ball. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. As Sanford moving the ball again, but they're facing a 3rd down. Can the Vikings get off the field? Megason to the right of Levine, who's in shotgun. Puts a man in motion, that's Saucier. Takes a snap, handoff Saucier. Saucier trying to get to the outside. He's going to be denied the 1st down. He's tackled short of it, about the 36-yard line. Brings up 4th down. I bet they'll probably go for it here, though.
Most likely. I mean, we already saw the Vikings go for it in a similar situation. This one's a little bit longer for them, but just because of the field position, they're probably going to go for it.
Looking at 3 yards to go.
2:33 clock moving remaining first quarter. They will go for it on 4th down at the 36-yard line. They need about 3 yards here. Levine in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, looking to throw for the 4th down conversion. He'll throw on the run across his body. It's a dangerous pass and a brilliant catch that time by Romano. In traffic, he took the punishment from Luchka and LaFrance, and he still made the play.
That did not look good. That was quite a collision between Alex Turner and Yannick Luchka.
Oh, they hit each other.
Yeah, that was what the crack was.
It wasn't Romano.
No,
yeah.
no.
Gotcha. Good observation there. It's still in traffic, though.
Yeah.
And Vikings hit the wrong player. So it's 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Handoff is right up the gut, and inside the 15 down to the 13 goes Megason. But what a catch in traffic. That's a dangerous throw by Levine across his body to the middle of the field, but it worked out.
Right. He had a defender coming from each side, put it right between them.
2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 now from the 14-yard line.
19.
14-yard line here for the Spartans. 1:39 to go. They need 7 yards for a 1st down. Levine directing traffic there in the shotgun. He's got Saucier behind him. We have a whistle, and there was some sort of miscommunication, a false start there.
Flag at the snap.
He actually had
call is false
number
start
29, Anthony Wynn, behind him.
the Spartans.
But in any case, it was a false start to move him back 5 yards.
That will be a 5-yard penalty.
We have a timeout. Yeah, Sanford looked a little confused there, so they call timeout. 1:26 to go.
2nd and 11
first quarter. We finally
19,
have a chance to
we
catch
have
our
a
breath.
Timeout.
We'll keep it here.
Sanford.
But again, Oxford Hills is off to a good start, a great start this year. They opened the season at Lewiston and spoiled Lewiston's first game on their new field, 34-0. And then they had their home opener against Edward Little and beat Edward Little 41-13. Anytime you can beat Lewiston and Edward Little, that's off to a good start. And now kind of a team that maybe not so familiar with, coming down here to Sanford, long bus ride. What's that like as a player, you know, going on the road like this?
Well, I mean, a long bus ride every year going to Bangor, and, you know, I only had to come to Sanford once my junior year for preseason, but just any long bus ride, you start to feel a little tired. You know, even if you don't sleep on the way down, your legs feel tired when you get off the bus, and then never feels like you have enough time to really warm up. And I was never really warmed up until, you know, halfway through the first quarter, but hopefully these guys can get in a nice groove, get some stops, you know, bend, don't break, put that philosophy to work.
All right, here we go. 2nd down and long after the false start. Levine takes a snap, rolls to his right, throws incomplete. Turner on the coverage that time. And that was intended for number 8 in red, Nick Ravasi.
Carson Bickford.
And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
3rd and 11 Now for the Spartans.
So, minute 23 to go, clock stop, 3rd and 12 for Sanford. The Viking defense trying to hold him here after giving up a touchdown the first drive of the game. 2 wide receivers, multiple tight ends in. Levine in the gun, puts a man in motion. That is a snap, and he fakes the handoff and rolls to his right. Levine now rolls back, in trouble. LaFrance had him, and he's able to get rid of it. The pass underthrown intended for Saucier, but the pressure that time applied by Parker LaFrance.
They did a great job containing him. I was going to say that after the first drive. He's a very mobile quarterback, and if you don't contain him, he'll beat you by, getting out of the pocket and getting some good runs up the sideline that way. But they did a great job containing him there, forced him up in the pocket. Parker LaFrance came in and wrapped him up. Almost had a sack, but he just barely got it away in time.
A minute 14 to go, first quarter, 4th and 12. They'll go for it from the Viking 19-yard line. They need to get down to the 7 for a first down. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 to his right. Levine takes a snap on 4th down, quick hitter, and it's caught. And it'll be short, though, of the first down. I'm not sure if they were expecting to get a catch and run for 12 yards that time, and they did not. The quick hitter to Caleb Saucier, and the Vikings had it covered.
I think the mindset on that play was we're either going to get the first down, a touchdown, or we're going to pin them deep in their own territory.
So they get a few more yards and pin them down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. So the turnover does not cost the Vikings unless you count, field position, but not in terms of points. So Carson back out there. He's got Brown in the backfield to his right. 3 wide receivers in the shotgun to start. 1st and 10 from his own 14-yard line. He puts Worcester in motion and takes a snap. Handoff, Emerson Brown running between the tackles. Brown, tough runner, gets out to the 20-yard line. A 6-yard carry on first down. Inside a minute to go, first quarter. Vikings trailing 7-0. Opening drive
Emerson
of the game. Levine and company marched down the field and scored on a touchdown pass to Matt Romano, who just made that tackle.
For the Vikings.
Romano, big number 89, one of their tight ends. Made a great catch on their most recent drive, too, but it did not end up going for points. 6-yard gain by Brown. 2nd and 4, 35 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Worcester in motion again, Brown in the backfield. Carson looking to run it himself, and he spins out of one tackle before he's dragged down by the ankles by Saul Demers, a senior, 6'4", 227-pound defensive end, and Carson gets, maybe a yard.
Carson stopped by Doug Johnson and Sol Demers.
Inside 10 seconds to go.
No gain on
first
the play.
Quarter of action. That'll be the final play of the quarter.
For the Vikings.
So with 3rd down coming up on this next snap, we'll take a quick break. At the end of the first quarter, the score is Sanford 7, Oxford Hills nothing. This is the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox. Video feed brought to you by Spectrum Healthcare Partners, MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
And on the video side of things, welcome back in, MBR.org. Second quarter about to get underway here at the newest facility in the state, I would say, Alumni Stadium. Home of Sanford, they're up by a score of 7-0. And Oxford Hills will have the ball right here to start the second quarter of action. Colton Carson takes a snap, rolls to his right, throws. That's going to be a first down. Or did he drop it? He dropped it. Worcester dropped it. And that's going to bring up a 4th down instead. Thought he had him there right by the yard marker.
Yeah, that was just a case of trying to turn and run before you actually catch the ball. You got to secure the ball, then try to get more yards.
Look at all the way in, which Worcester could not quite do there. So it'll be 4th down here for the Vikings. Back deep to return this punt is Caleb Saucier, standing at about midfield, and Luchka will punt it away. He was their punter 2 years ago, wide receiver and punter, and place kicker this year. On 4th down, takes the snap. Booted away. Pretty good punt. Let's see if it takes a Viking bounce. It does. Inside the 40, 35, down to the 32-yard line. That is an outstanding punt. They were backed up deep in their own territory, and Yannick Luchka flips the field. They needed that.
Yeah, they did.
49-yard punt.
I think at this point they want to just, they got out of that situation. So now they're going to take a second to just breathe, figure out what they got to change, make those adjustments, and play some Viking football.
We got 11:43 to go in the half. It's 7-0 in favor of the Spartans. They get the football after a 49-yard punt by Yannick Luchka there. 1st and 10, their own 31 for the Spartans. Xavier Levine has been outstanding so far today. Saucier is behind him in the backfield as Levine gets everyone set. They like to bring in double tight end sets a lot. And Levine takes a snap and hands it off. Saucier up the middle. There's a flag on the play in the area of holding. I think they might have held Dowdy, and they did.
Yeah, he had him he was hugging him on the ground.
So that'll move him back 10 yards from the spot. It'll bring up 1st and long with 11:38 to go.
Number 50,
hey, if I was blocking him, that's probably all I could do.
He's a tough task. Worcester and Dowdy on that defensive line. Those are two guys who are very tough to block. Well, we have an interesting development so far, at least. The Spartans an early 7-0 lead. We're not used to seeing the Vikings trailing. They hadn't trailed all year. They're down by 7 here with 11:33 to go as the clock moves after they spot the football in the first half. 1st and 21 for Levine and the Spartans. Levine takes a snap out of the shotgun and rolls to his right. He's got some time. Still rolling towards the sideline. Now he'll throw it on the run at the last minute, and it's caught somehow right at the 40-yard line before he's driven out of bounds by Carson. It is Caleb Saucier near the 1st down. He's a little bit short, but it's going to be 2nd and about 1 yard to go. 19, 20-yard gain there.
Never seen a quarterback hit like that, have you?
No, Carson drilled him, that's for sure. And we do have a flag, and they're moving the wrong direction, folks. This might be another hold. He was rolling for so long, there was no pressure on him as he kept rolling, and they're moving him back again. So that play, you can forget about it.
They've got to figure out the coverage, though. They're
call is
ineligible receiver downfield. That's what it was. I was hitting my head, not because I'm crazy. That's what the ref did. I was trying to figure out what that meant. Ineligible receiver downfield. So.
I got really confused there.
One of the offensive linemen got too excited and went too far down.
That happens a lot with those sprint out, roll out plays there.
So that's only a 5-yard penalty, but it's now 1st and 26 for the Spartans. Backed up at their own 14-yard line. They need to get to the 41. But they still have all their downs at the very least. Multiple tight ends set again. Another penalty. Wow, they're moving the wrong direction.
Flag
this
on
is
the
again.
Field.
That's from delay of game area.
Against Sanford.
Wow.
So it's going to be 1st and 31 after they move this back to the 9-yard line. My goodness. 3 consecutive penalties for a total of 20 plus yards here. 21 yards. All right. Levine takes a snap, back to pass, standing by his own end zone. He's in trouble, throws it on while he gets hit by Worcester. It's up in the air, and somehow it's caught. It is caught by Saucier at his own 45-yard line for a 1st down. Are you kidding me? Caleb Saucier, with 2 Viking defenders on him, makes a spectacular catch.
Wow. Well, to begin with, that should have been a safety.
Brooks.
It was really close, and
Worcester was all over him.
then it looked like it should have been an interception, but he somehow came down with that when he was in double coverage, so that was impressive.
45.
Caleb Saucier, 6-foot junior, What a huge play there. 1st and 10. They'll just hand it off. Up the gut. LaFrance, a big hit, as we're used to seeing. Getting out to near midfield is Saucier. It'll be second down, about 5 yards to go.
Caleb Saucier wrapped up by number 15.
10:08 to go,
LaFrance.
first half. It's 7-0 in favor of
Gain
the
of
Spartans,
5,
and they're
second
moving
and
the
5
football
at the
again.
50.
Despite 3 penalties on this drive, all happening in a row. Levine with 2 wide receivers to the right will hand it off up the gut. One stiff arm. LaFrance looking to rip that ball away from James Megason, but Megason drags a couple tacklers inside the Viking 45 down to the 44 and a first down.
Megason breaks several tackles for a gain of 6.
Vikings were looking to strip that football,
another first
but Megason
down
held
for the
on
Spartans.
and got the first down.
1st and 10.
So Levine
now at the Viking 44.
and the Spartans continue to march. It's Wynn splitting out now into the slot. Wynn goes in motion. Levine tells him to hurry up. Now Levine will take the snap. Option left, looking to run it. Good block by Megason, but then he is corralled, and Levine somehow stays on his feet. It took about 5 Vikings to get him, but they do, and a loss of 1 on the play.
Xavier Levine
9:10
brought
to
down
go.
by a ship of Vikings.
That's the kind of gang tackling
Loss of
that
1.
we want to see out of this
2nd
defense.
and 11.
And a nice pursuit. The PA announcer just said a ship of
Now at
Vikings,
the
which what it
Viking
was.
45.
A ship.
Yep. 8:56 to go in the half. 1 yard loss on the play. 2nd and 11 now from the Oxford Hills 45 for the Spartans, who lead 7-0. Levine in the gun again. These double tight end sets. He fakes the handoff to Megason, now rolls to his right. He'll throw on the run. Turner's got a beat on it, and Turner intercepts it at the 15-yard line. Alex Turner, the all-conference defensive back, with the pick, and he has a few words for the Spartans bench.
I told you last game. I told you he knows how to talk, and
Alex
he will.
Turner.
I don't think he appreciated the previous completion, and that time he played center field basically and tracked that one down. He's tackled right at the 15-yard line, but Alex Turner with the interception. So each team has now turned it over once, basically. The Spartans also turned it over on downs, but this time an interception. Let's see what the Vikings can do. They trail 7-0, 8:38 to go first half. The Turner pick. Carson in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion, that's Worcester. Takes the snap. They're going to run it up the gut with Emerson Brown, and Brown's hit hard by Levine, but it gets to the 20-yard line nonetheless for a 5-yard gain.
Another hard-hitting quarterback.
Yeah, Levine and Carson, both QBs Emerson and both
Brown
safeties.
With the handoff.
Levine already has a pick and a touchdown pass today, but he's also thrown a pick. And Alex Turner tracked down.
2nd and 5
Brown checks out, and Parker LaFrance checks in for the Vikings. 8:13 to go in the first half. Oxford Hills trailing by a score of 7-0. Carson in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Puts a man in motion, that's Bonang. He'll fake it to Bonang and run it himself. Carson up the middle. Carson to the 30-yard line before he's swung down by Megason. And a first down for Colton Carson running the football.
10-yard gain for Colton Carson.
Carson's been mentioned in Fitzpatrick Trophy early, watch list. That's from all classes.
Now at their 30.
Best player in the state of Maine. Through 2 games, he's been exactly that. This game, they still haven't gotten the scoreboard, but a good run there to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10.
They seem to be moving the ball more consistently than they were in the first quarter, and they seem settled in now.
3 wide receivers. Bonang in motion. Carson option to the right, looking to run it now. Carson to the edge. He gets to the edge. 40, 45, midfield and out of bounds. Another great run by Colton Carson. Moves the chains for the Vikings.
Colton Carson with the keeper.
See where they had him step out.
By number 5.
Stepped out his own 47, but still a first down.
Yeah, that spot seems a little early, but still a good run.
Excellent run by Colton Carson to move the chains.
Now at their 47.
So Colton Carson, the 3-sport star for the Vikings, has 3 wide receivers here on 1st and 10 from their own 47, trailing 7-0. Puts a man in motion, takes a snap, hands off LaFrance. LaFrance trying to get to the outside on the near side. He does. Breaks 1 tackle. He's inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line. Parker LaFrance shook one defender out of his shoes and then kept going for about a 9-yard gain.
I don't know how much they enforce it, but he's got to be careful on that little step over, because if a defender goes low and you jump over him, that's actually a penalty.
You're not allowed to hurdle a defender in high school.
I don't know how much they enforce it, though, because I've seen it a lot, and they've never called it.
That used to be banned, I think, in college at one point, but not anymore.
Yeah.
All right, 3 wide receivers for Colton Carson here, 2nd and 1. After the 9-yard run by LaFrance, they are in Spartan territory. Takes a snap, throws, nice catch for a first down inside the 40 that time. Goes Cade Truman, junior tight end, and that'll move the chains.
Pass is complete to Cade Truman. He's brought down by Xavier
Got to the 38-yard line that time. Check that, 37-yard line of the Spartans.
They have one-on-one coverage on the outside. I'm surprised they haven't taken a few more shots. It seems like by now in the first 2 games that they played, they would have had a few more attempts by now.
We have a whistle and timeout called by the Spartans. They're trying to talk things over because the Vikings right now moving the football very well. They're at the Spartans' 37-yard line with 6:22 remaining here in the second quarter. The Vikings do trail by a count of 7-0. You mentioned that first quarter, it seemed like it just kind of flew by, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, there was a lot of, they ran the ball a lot, not many incompletions, so the clock just kept ticking.
And so Oxford Hills only got 1+ possession, basically, in that first quarter of action. But the Vikings marching now. Obviously, a slow start, but it seems like they figured things out a little bit.
Right, and like I said, it's a long bus ride. They got here late, didn't have much time to warm up. Usually takes a while to settle in on these road games that are, a ways away.
How long is the drive from Oxford Hills to here?
The Sanford Red and White
about an hour and 40 minutes.
Hour and 40, yeah.
It's being helped by Mark Motors.
This is obviously a beautiful new facility here.
Donating $5
turf
for
facility.
Every oil change.
They got Spartans written in red in both end zones, which are painted white.
The kids of the greater
and
Sanford
the big Spartan
Springdale
helmet
area,
at midfield.
And get your oil change this September at
Brand
Mark
new high
Motors,
school to our
Nissan
left.
Of Sanford.
Things still a little under construction here, but they're getting there. And they're looking to make a splash in a very difficult conference that they are in, the Class A South, with the likes of Thornton, Bonnie Eagle, Scarborough. Been dominating in recent years at least. That can change, of course. 6:22 to go. 1st and 10 out of the timeout. Worcester in motion. Carson takes a snap, back to pass, rolls to his right. Throw is too high for Worcester. There is a flag in the defensive backfield.
Pass from Carson.
Should be pass interference. Looks like there's a collision between Johnny Pruitt and Saucier.
There is a flag
maybe a defensive hold. The throw is intended for Worcester. It was overthrown a little bit, and a flag away from the play, kind of.
Would that be illegal contact then?
It'd be a defensive hold. That's what
it would be a hold.
Signaled. Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Ball is holding.
You can still be penalized if you're
Sanford.
holding someone away from the play, and that's
Yeah.
what happened there. So that will gain the Vikings a few yards. They don't do automatic first downs in high school, but depending on the severity of the penalty, it could move the chains, and it does. So that will be a first down for the Vikings inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, a 10-yard penalty on the defensive hold.
First down at the
16 to
27
go, second quarter.
Vikings.
1st and 10 now. 27-yard line of the Spartans. Carson in the shotgun. He's got Bonang going in motion. Carson to run it. Colton Carson running near hash. Now cuts back middle of the field. There's a flag on the play, and Carson's into the end zone for a touchdown. However, this one may be coming back.
Carson
there is a flag
into the end zone for
in
what
the
appears to be a touchdown.
The defensive,
but there is a flag
the offensive
on
backfield
the play.
around the 26-yard line.
It's going to be a
in
hold.
the area of holding, certainly. We'll wait and see for the official signal. Block in the back, and that's same thing, basically.
Call is
same
illegal
result.
Block against
Block in the
Oxford
back
Hills.
on the Vikings negates the touchdown run from Colton Carson. 6:08 to go here in the half.
They will replay the first down.
Yeah, it'll still be first down, but they'll move him back from the spot, so it still could be around 1st and 10. Let's see where they end up spotting it. No, it'll be a little farther back.
See, blocking the back, most of the time in high school football, it sounds a lot worse than it is because they're so soft about that rule. Like, I remember last year at one point, I was playing wide receiver, and I think it was an outside linebacker was running towards me, and his head turned towards the ball carrier that was coming towards me.
Yeah.
And I had a crack block that I was supposed to be running, but I just kind of stood there and set a pick, and he ran into me, and they called a block in the back.
This moves them back to the 36-yard line. First down and 19. Carson to run it again up the middle. Why not? It worked last time despite the penalty. Inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. So he gets back to close to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up second down.
Colton Carson wrapped up by
5:55 to go in the half. Vikings trailing 7-0 here. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow, live from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. We are on 96.9 The Ox, and we are on the video feed at mbr.org for this CMCC Hammond Lumber Company Game of the Week. Vikings and Spartans. 2nd and 12 after the run by Carson. Bonang in motion. They'll fake the handoff to Bonang, and Carson has a lead blocker looking to get to the outside. On the near side, he does, and he gets driven out of bounds, maybe a little late almost, down to the 20-yard line. I think that's what the Vikings were calling for, but no flag, and that'll bring up 3rd and short.
Definitely looked like it was a little late.
Carson stopped by
it's
number
possible
57,
the tackle
Doug
started while he was
Johnson.
inbound, but it was very close.
Gain of 8 for the Vikings.
So they need 3 yards here at the 20-yard line.
3 now.
3rd and 3.
Sanford 20.
They are moving the football despite that block in the back. They have a 3rd and manageable right here. Colton Carson's been running the ball very effectively. He's got Parker LaFrance in the backfield with him. Bonang in the slot on the near side. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 3. Bonang in motion. Carson to run it again. He gets a good block from LaFrance, but a host of Spartans get him short of the first down. He got a yard. He needed 3.
It's going to be, yeah, it was pretty close.
Carson
but
brought down by a host of
manageable
Spartan
4th down
tacklers,
try here.
Certainly.
James Megason.
As much as I'm sure Luska would love to try a field goal from about 34 yards, I don't think they'll do that.
Now for Oxford
we have a whistle, and I think Mark Soren wants to talk things over on 4th down. 4:54 to go in the half as the Vikings do indeed call a timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Hills.
Spartans leading by a score of 7-0, and the Vikings on 4th down and 2. If you're the offensive coordinator, what are you calling here?
Probably you have one-on-one coverage on the wide side with Yannick Luksha. I'd say run a quick slant or a quick out, maybe even a fade. Just let Yannick Luksha go get it, and Colton will put it on him. They're gonna make a play. So why run here when it's kind of long for it's 4th and about 3. I feel like if you run inside, there's a pretty good chance they're going to know that that's coming and they're going to stop it. But like I said, I would rather go for a short pass here than running up the gut.
Interesting. Well, have they really targeted Lushka today? I haven't seen it yet.
No, and I'm surprised about that. Maybe that'll catch him off guard, though. If you see Luksha one-on-one on the wide side, look for that.
All right, we'll have to see what happens out of this timeout. We know Mark Soren likes to run the ball, but we'll see what they do here. They need 2 yards at the 19-yard line of the Spartans. 4:54 to go in the half. Vikings trailing 7-0. 4th and 2. Emerson Brown in the backfield. Luchka is one-on-one on the near side. Short side of the field, though. 4 wide receivers. Trips to the right on 4th down. A hard count. Someone jumped early.
Flag prior to the snap.
And it was the offense.
Oh.
So 4th and
Oxford
7 now instead of 4th and 2, which changes things. Well, he's still going to go for it.
It definitely looked like a pass set. They had trips to the right, 4 wide receivers.
Penalty.
So I think
we'll never know, though.
Right. I mean,
now at the
you might know. You can ask Coach Soren on the way back. What were you calling them?
Right. I'll remember that. I'll make a mental note.
What would they have run there? False start, though, unfortunately now probably a pass, and most definitely a pass situation type deal here on 4th and 7. Unless Carson makes something of his own. They have same formation. Trips to the right, 4 wide receivers. Lutsko one-on-one on the near side. Parker LaFrance instead. Now we have another dead ball, and this time a timeout called by the Spartans. A little cat and mouse game going on right now, Tasker.
Yeah, I mean, last year, so like we just said, 4 wide receivers, trips to the right. Last year in a 4th and 3 situation, or the year before that, we would have come out in our Magnum set, which was our heavy eye, and just pounded it down the defense's throat. And it usually worked, but they don't really have the personnel for that, and I haven't even seen them in I formation once this year. So that's not really an option for them.
Yeah, the I formation was a staple of the offense certainly 2 years ago, where it was essentially rotate Ryland Van Decker and Dawson Stevens and just keep handing it off.
Yeah.
Thunder and lightning approach. Last year they had Dawson Stevens for some of the year, and their offense obviously was much better when he was in the lineup fully healthy. But now they've adjusted to life after Dawson Stevens, and certainly LaFrance and Brown are both good backs.
Right, and they both got quite a bit of exposure last year with him being injured. But even when he was healthy, they still, gave them quite a bit of reps to give Dawson rest. So they know what they're doing.
Same formation. Nothing's changed here. Trips to the right, 4 wide receivers with LaFrance in the backfield instead of Brown. And Carson in the gun, 4th and 7 from the 24 of Sanford. Carson takes a snap, back to pass, hit while he throws. It's a little underthrown. Trying to get back to the ball with Bonang. He could not. Pressure that time applied by Matthew Romano. The pass is incomplete, and they turn it over on downs.
Prior to the pass by Matt Romano.
Did they not give him the pass interference there because they said it wasn't catchable?
Well, I think it's because the receiver was not actively trying to, or pardon me, the defensive back was not actively trying to interfere. In fact, he was just running with the receiver. The receiver was trying to get back, and it wasn't like he pushed him or anything.
Right.
He was just like, what are you doing? It was kind of a weird situation where I don't think the defensive back knew where the ball was, but wasn't interfering with his arms. Never stuck his arms out. Bonang was trying to get back, and the defensive back certainly was in his way, but I don't think not on purpose. He didn't realize where the ball was.
When I played corner, whenever a ball got tipped, I would immediately, whichever receiver I was covering, just tackle him. I would just hug him because after
it's tipped, it's fair game.
Right. They'd get so mad at me all the time. Come on, that's holding. No, it got tipped.
False start on the Spartans after the turnover on down, so that'll move them back 5 yards. 4:48 remaining first half, and Spartans defense still tossing a shutout here. They're up 7-0.
At the Sanford.
A lot of penalties, though, on the Spartans today. Levine in the shotgun on 1st and 15. Puts the man in motion. That's Bickford. Takes a snap. Levine looking to run near side. Levine to the 25. And that's where Lutsko was there. There's a flag on the play. A couple other Vikings defenders came in, including number 37, Marcus Stone, a sophomore. But we do have a flag in the area of a face mask type deal. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it on Luksha. He came by and kind of overran it, reached out to grab it. I don't think he got the face mask, though. It looked like he got the back of the helmet.
And it is on the Vikings defense.
Yeah, they signaled that the back of his helmet.
Personal foul face mask. Okay. 15-yard penalty to the 41-yard line.
Foul, face mask.
1st and 10 for the Spartans from their own 41-yard line. Levine and the Spartans looking to score before halftime. 4:35 remaining in the half. Clock now moving again. Levine takes a snap out of the gun. He'll just hand it off. Saucier up the middle, and that time there's nowhere to go. Maybe a yard. I think no gain, though, for Saucier that time. 2nd down coming up.
Caleb Saucier receives the handoff.
4:13 remaining as the clock keeps ticking in the second quarter of action. It's 7-0 in favor of the Spartans over the Vikings.
For Sanford.
Romano's on the near side, split out wide. 3 wide receivers here. Option left. Levine tried to jump over a defender, and there was nowhere to jump over. J.J. Worcester was there to tackle him among a host of other Vikings. How about this sophomore Marcus Stone? He's been in the middle of a few plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really active player. He's strong. He's a pretty big kid. He's getting there with the technique and the football IQ, but, I mean, he's an athlete, so everything else will come with age and maturity.
Sophomore playing on the varsity Saw that a couple years ago with Parker LaFrance. We got 3 wide receivers here for Levine. 2 to the right, 1 to his left. 3rd and 12 after a 2-yard loss. Takes a snap, back to pass, has time. Throws it deep down the middle. Jump ball. Lutzka breaks it up. Pass intended that time for Leighton Bickford. And that will bring up 4th down. Bickford. Ball wasn't really catchable for anyone. Lutzka got a hand on it, but
that will make it 4th down. 11 for the Spartans.
Clock stops, 3:09 remaining in the half. And now punt formation, most likely here, as back to punt it is Leighton Bickford.
Leighton Bickford is back to punt for the Spartans.
And now
receiving is Michael Bonang.
Bonang will move up to about his own 27-yard line. On 4th down, Bickford the punt. Line drive, Bonang at the 30, and he is tackled immediately. Heck of a play that time by Carson Bickford.
Bonang with the reception.
I wonder if there's any relation there.
Bonang was immediately taken down
normally
by
the case.
4.
Right.
The one exception was, I believe, a couple of Vikings with the last name of Bean.
Right.
If I recall, we're not related at all.
Yeah.
30-yard line.
But then we have situations like yours where you're related to people who don't have your last name at all.
Yeah. Like older brother Connor Bickford, actually.
Another Bickford, but no relation to those Bicfords.
No, right.
Probably not.
I don't think.
Yeah. Maine's a small state, though, in terms of population. So 1st and 10 for the Vikings from their own 30-yard line after that great tackle by Bickford. 4 wide receivers trips to the right here for Colton Carson on 1st down. He's got 3:02 to work with here in the first half, down 7. On the slant, I think defensive back got there early. He did. Intended for Lutzka, and that's going to be pass interference on Carson Bickford. I mean, that's a call you could have seen from Oxford Hills High School.
Yeah, he committed to the tackle a little bit too early.
Certainly pass interference.
There was a flag on the play.
That's a 15-yard penalty and a 1st down for the Vikings.
That'll help him out a little bit with the 2 minutes, 58 seconds left in the half, trying to drive down and score.
A free 15 yards all the way to the 45-yard line. So that's the case for the spot or the 15-yard penalty, which you see in high school and college, benefits you more than if it had been the NFL where it's spot of the foul.
Right.
Normally the NFL, because of a deep ball, benefits you more with pass interference or the offense, but not in that case. The 15 yards is better. All right, 4 wide receivers for Carson and the offense. Takes the snap, back to pass. Feeling some pressure up the middle, shakes a defender, and now there's a flag on the play in the area of a holding or face mask. There's a fumble as well, and the Spartans do recover. We'll have to wait and see the flag, though.
Face mask.
Sack in the backfield.
Yeah, it's on the defense. So forget that fumble. The penalty is on the defense.
On the play.
It was in the area I thought of a face mask, certainly. It was a little late to be holding. And obviously it wasn't holding because they got to him. If you hold, you might as well make it count.
Right.
It's going to be another penalty on the Spartans, who are getting penalized quite a bit. I'm pretty sure it's a face mask.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, when he first threw it, I saw him signal face mask.
It's from the spot of the foul, so that looks like a 15-yarder. Yep. Out across the 50 now to the 48 because it happened way in the backfield. So they only gained about 7 yards, but way better than the alternative. All right. It's going to be 1st down and short here. Carson back to pass. Down the seam. Oh, he airmailed that one. Looking for Pruitt. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd down and a couple yards to go.
Pass intended for Johnny Pruitt.
That's where you kind of miss having the Cam Slicer
2nd
go down
and
the seam.
They had this chemistry, you know. They always, he always knew where he was, even though I'm pretty sure you can't see Cam on the field most of the time. But
hey, good for Slicer making this trip down here. You know, one of the captains was out there for the coin toss and everything.
Yeah,
so.
He actually sat with me on the bus on the way down here.
Well, is he down in the dumps? Is he?
No, he seems all right.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to happen.
Yeah.
They put a man in motion, Carson to run it, and that is close to a 1st down. I think he got it, yeah, to the 45 of the Spartans, 2:30 to go.
Colton Carson with the
He knows he still has baseball to look forward to, and the Vikings have a good baseball team.
That was the first thing when he told me he had to have surgery and that it was going to be quite a long recovery. I said, are you going to be all right for baseball?
Yeah.
Just because at this point, We know he's not going to be back for football.
Right.
I know that baseball is his, what he lives for, so I want to make sure he's going to be all right for that.
Yeah.
Looks
This
like
is
we'll have a
very
measurement
close to
on
a
that
first
play.
down, so they're measuring. I thought he got it, but I've been wrong before.
Hey, if I was a ref
First
and
down.
if I saw Colton Carson running the ball and he got
It
close,
is
I'd give him the
good
benefit
for a
of the doubt
first
with those
down
long
for
arms.
Oxford Hills.
6'5", Colton Carson. All right, it is a first down to the Spartans' 45-yard
First
line.
and 10 at the Sanford 45 for the Vikings.
2:23 clock moving to go. First half, Vikings trail 7-0. Trips to the left. 4 wide receivers for Colton Carson on first and 10 from the Spartan 45. Takes the snap. He'll dump it off for Bonang, who drops it. Second drop by the Vikings today. Worcester dropped one earlier. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Pass intended for number 23, Michael Bonang.
Clock stops,
Incomplete.
2:11 to
Second
go
and
in the
10.
half. It's still only
For
7-0.
Oxford Hills at the
After the
45.
first drive, I thought, okay, this is going to be like a track meet. We're going to have a bunch of points, and it's turned into a defensive struggle. A little bit surprisingly, I thought, because both teams have had success moving the ball at times, just haven't been able to finish off drives. 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers. Carson in the gun from the 45. Puts Turner in motion. Fakes the handoff to Turner. Rolls to his right. Now he'll throw it for Turner. Too high. Turner only stands at 5'10", a little bit over his head that time.
Colton Carson did not look happy with that throw there. As soon as he made it, he knew it was over his
Pass
head.
intended for number 3, Alex Turner.
They seem out of their
3rd and
element.
10 for Oxford
Not
Hills.
only Carson, but the receivers too. They've had a few drops, and it's just not like them.
They will have a halftime to try to sort things out. Right now it's 2:06 to go. It's funny, the first quarter went by really quickly. The second quarter is taking forever.
And I'd say here with 2 minutes, 6 seconds left in the half, if you don't score, you need to keep the ball the whole time so that they don't have a chance to score before the half, because they get the ball back.
3rd and 10, Carson hit while he threw. Too high, incomplete. Pressure applied that time, it looked like, by number 58 in red, Demers, Saul Demers, with the pressure. And that'll bring up 4th down and 10.
Pass intended for Johnny Pruitt.
Was looking for Pruitt that time, but he got hit while he threw.
Garnsey. 4th and 10 now for the Vikings.
Obviously, they'll go for it. They're in the plus territory here, so. 4 wides, 2 to his left, 2 to his right. 4th down and 10. Carson takes a snap, back to pass. He's under pressure, and he is sacked. He is sacked by Demers, who surged in there, along with a couple other Spartans as well.
Sack.
But Demers got there first, and it'll be a turnover
Against
on
Oxford
downs.
Hills.
And that hurts, especially on 4th down,
At
because
number 58,
now
Sol Demers.
it's going to be at the Oxford Hills 45-yard line instead of the
downs
Spartans 45.
at the Viking 45.
Yeah, now they've kind of put the defense in a tough spot. You're going to see a 2-minute drill from this Sanford team that is already a no-huddle offense and pretty quick as it is. If they can move the ball, they're going to have no problem with the time.
Right, a minute 55 is plenty of time considering they're starting at the Viking 45-yard line. They don't have any timeouts left, though. That's the only thing to keep in mind here. Vikings have 2 if they want to use them at some point. Here goes Levine, 40, 35, 30. He's driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Pruitt, but Xavier Levine on the QB keeper on the option gets the first down and then some.
Tripped out of bounds by number 12.
He has been
Johnny
the best
Pruitt.
player on the field today. He's got an interception already. He's thrown a touchdown pass, and he runs the ball really
To
well.
the Viking 25.
Xavier Levine.
He's looking very Colton Carson-esque.
Yeah, he's not as tall as Carson, but he's not short. He's 6'2" at QB here. They got about 1,000 tight ends here. And the run near side and battling for yards. And really some tough running by Saucier before Lutska gets to him, and that's close to a first down.
Caleb Saucier stopped by Yannick Lucha. And
So,
Johnny Pruitt.
9-yard run that
Gain of
time.
9, 2nd and 1 now for Sanford at the 20, check it, the 16.
On 2nd and 1, it's Saucier still on his feet down to the 10-yard line and a first down.
It looks like a lot of defenders are trying to rip the ball out from him, but I mean, he's got two hands on the ball as soon as he makes contact, so I think they've just got to worry about wrapping up instead of trying to pop the ball out.
Saucer doing a heck of a job running today.
At the Viking 11.
They still can pick up another first down because at the 11 on 1st and 10. Levine takes the snap. He'll roll to his left, throwing for the end zone. Turner broke it up. Turner got there and got his hands in the way of Carson Bickford, and there's a flag, however, on the far side, not where the pass went.
There might be a flag.
Honestly, it's in the area of like offsides almost, depending on when it was thrown, but we'll see.
Who's going to signal it?
Holding. So it was rolling to his left, so it must have been a hold while he was rolling.
Sanford.
And that'll move him back 10 yards from the spot of that foul. So instead of the 11-yard line, they're now back at the 26. Pardon me, the 20. Yeah, the 20, about the 26-yard line.
10 yards from the spot of
Flip
the
at 24.
foul.
So 13 yards.
With exactly a minute left in the half, too.
Now at the 24.
And I believe they'll wind the clock here after they signal ready for play. A minute left, 7-0. Spartans looking for more, but the hold moves them back a bit to the 24. Pump fake. Levine going for it all. Diving catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. Carson Bickford, 24 yards from Xavier Levine. My goodness. Another spectacular catch by Sanford.
Ray Sanford, touchdown.
Just a simple hitch and go there. Pump fake, as if he was going to throw a quick hitch route, and then said go route and touchdown.
Levine back to kick for the Spartans.
Yep, the defender bit on that one pretty hard, couldn't make up the lost step.
The throw was perfect in the sense that it was only where Bickford could catch it. Extra point is up and good for Levine with 52.8 seconds to go in the half. Spartans 14, Vikings nothing. We'll take a quick break here on 96.9 The Ox and the video feed at MBR.org.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth with the score now 14-0 in favor of Sanford over Oxford Hills. My name is Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow on this Friday night under the lights at the brand new Sanford High School.
Bonang and Luke
A 24-yard touchdown strike from Xavier Levine to Carson Bickford has made it 14-0 in favor of Sanford. The ensuing kickoff goes to Bonang. He's got 35, 40, and he dives to the 44-yard line. They'll have 47.6 seconds to go in the half. 14-0 in favor of the Spartans.
Bonang.
A little bit of surprise here considering how dominant Oxford Hills looked against Lewiston and Edward Little. But once you play these crossover games in Class A, it can get very tricky. Sanford came into this game 0-2, but the trial by fire against defending state champions and the champs from 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to see
Oxford Hills will start out
the team that's in last place in the South
44.
up by 2 touchdowns on the team that's first in the North.
You know they won't finish last in the South, though. We can tell right now. 4 wide receivers, first down. Carson in trouble again. Escapes, but he's under pressure and he's sacked. That time the initial pressure from Romano and then fishing him off, James Megason with the sack. And the clock will tick down. Under 30 seconds left in the half.
Colton Carson is sacked.
Worcester has to hustle off the field here. They still want to try to get some plays off here, but the clock keeps moving. They do have 2 timeouts left. Might have to go for it all here, though. Carson in trouble again, does spin away, throws on the run, diving catch. Lutsko, did he get there? He did. Makes the catch right at the original line of scrimmage, but they only have 9 seconds left here.
3rd and 10 now at the
They might get one more play off.
With 4 seconds
Maybe
left.
one more
4,
play with
3,
2, 1. They get it off. So one more play. Carson in trouble again. Going to throw for it all down the middle of the field. It's incomplete. He did have a couple of Vikings there, including Luska, but it falls to the turf, and that is the end of the first half. And what a first half it was for the Spartans. They lead 14-0 at the break. We will go to break and come back with a brief halftime report in just a bit. This is the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox video feed at MBR.org.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
So the athlete is usually either sent over from their athletic trainer, from their primary care physician, or sometimes from the school directly. My goal is always to get these kids in within 24 hours from the time of their injury. There are a few reasons why they would need to go to the ER that after, if they had an injury at a game, which the athletic trainer usually takes care of. But most of the time these kids are fine enough to wait until the next day, just rest that night, and then we'll see them the next morning. So the first visit is like any other office visit we'll have. We'll have them come in, fill out the paperwork about their injury, their concussion, and kind of go through their symptoms, and then we'll do an exam, which is pretty thorough regarding their balance, their range of motion of their neck, as well as looking at their cranial nerves, any dysfunction that we can find. A lot of times it's more the, just looking at the athlete and you can see the concussion almost in their eyes. A lot of times there's not a whole lot else on exam that we can find, and that's good. Usually if you see something more focally, a focal neurologic defect, that's where we're getting a little more concerned. Some of these kids will recover really quickly. Other ones can take weeks and months to fully resolve. Most importantly, once again, is the physical exam and just talking to the patient. In terms of scans, it's rare that you need to do any scans, especially a CT scan. Those are more reserved for if somebody had a prolonged consciousness or they're having worsening symptoms, or they have a focal neurologic defect. As long as they don't have those, we rarely don't do any imaging because there's not much you're going to see. Concussion is an injury, microscopic injury to the brain. It's not something that you can see on a normal imaging study. When you're doing a CT scan, you're looking more to see if there's a bleed, which is complicating the picture. The only test that we do run is there is the impact test, which is one of the cognitive testing tools that are out there to help determine, for me, more return to play. It's not a tool that helps to necessarily, I don't use it to diagnose a concussion. It helps me to really determine if the brain has recovered and are they ready to get back to more to their sporting level. So it's really an adjunct rather than the tool. Usually if it's going on 2 weeks, we don't recommend going to PT in those first 2 weeks. We just try to get them better because the majority of people will improve in that amount of time. If they're still having symptoms after a couple of weeks, then we'll discuss maybe getting into some rehab to see if we can hasten their recovery. That being said, when we work with professional athletes, a lot of times they are trying to get right in. They need to get back, so we are getting them into rehab, sometimes right away, to try to hasten their recovery as well. So the follow-up for me for concussions, once again, depends on their symptoms. After our initial visit, we'll really discuss our plan for the short term and any restrictions for school and sports. I usually have the parents contact me, usually within about a week, to let me know how the student's responding. And if they have resolution of symptoms, there's no reason to follow up. If they're still having symptoms, then I will usually discuss once again my thoughts for the next week. And if they're just not responding over a couple of weeks, that's when I usually start seeing them back. Or if I have an athlete who's been having symptoms for weeks and weeks on end, that really needs kind of a closer follow-up. We'll follow up with them quite regularly with their physical therapy to make sure that they're progressing in the right direction.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. My name is Aaron Morse, alongside Tasker Winslow, former Oxford Hills Viking, doing the color commentary on this one. We got Alicia back in the studio running the board, Tyler running the camera. This is the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week with the video feed at MBR.org. We're also on 96.9 The Ox back in the greater Norway, South Paris, Oxford Hills High School region of the state of Maine. We're live, though, on top of the press box here at Sanford High School with their brand new stadium, Alumni Stadium. And at the half, folks, Sanford leads by a score of 14-0 over the Vikings behind 2 touchdown passes from Xavier Levine. One in the first quarter to Matthew Romano, and I was on the opening drive of the game. And then after a turnover on downs by the Vikings near the end of the second quarter, Levine connected for 24 yards for a touchdown to Carson Bickford. Those are the 2 scores so far in this one, and a diving catch by Bickford in that end zone. And Tasker, I mean, obviously Vikings, I think we're all surprised they have 0 points. I mean, they've been moving the ball pretty decently at times, but at the end there, Sanford knew they were going to throw and got a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, they were sending a lot of blitzes, and they have really good defensive backs, which I think is something that people overlook. I mean, they've been pretty much locking down the Vikings receivers all night, and they're going to have to find some combo routes that are working and get some better protection up front to give. I mean, Carson's doing the best he can to get outside the pocket and make some, get some time for himself and make some room, but he can't do all of it. The offensive line has to do a better job picking up blitzes and making calls at the line to make sure he's protected.
And then the turnovers, one by each side, neither turned into points or anything like that, but Alex Turner made a pretty nice pick there for the Vikings, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Turner, a guy who has been in on offense. He had a touchdown catch, actually, against against Lewiston, I believe, in their opener, but more known for his defense.
Right.
He takes a lot of pride in it, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's all conference for defense.
Certainly. So who are some guys – I mean, you were talking about trying to utilize Luska more on offense, right? Is that something you want to see in the second half?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They've had one-on-one coverage with him all night, and I think he's only been targeted once or twice. But, they're going to have to, especially when they have him on the wide side of the field on an island with just a corner, no safety over the top, they need to, try to get a big chunk on a fade or a post or, maybe a double move, something like that.
Is this surprising for you? I mean, you saw Sanford's record, but you knew it didn't mean a whole lot, really, right?
Well, I came in with an open mind, really thinking that, it was going to be a good game. But then again, it's kind of hard to tell because when you get blown out by Bonnie Eagle and Scarborough, that doesn't really say much because whether they were a lot worse than us or better than us, a blowout is a blowout, and those 2 teams are going to do it to pretty much anyone they face. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew it was going to be a good game.
You faced Scarborough last year and previous years, state champions. From your observations just playing against them, what is it? Are they just bigger and faster than everybody else? Or
Oh, they're huge and they're fast, and they go out on the field. It's like they're just programmed to do what they're supposed to do and nothing else. The linemen go out, they get in their stance, never say a word, and just plow over your defensive line. Get up, go back to the huddle, do it again. And their receivers run the crispest routes and double moves like you've never seen before, and they always catch the ball. I mean, they play football. That's what they do. That's all they worry about. And I think a lot of teams would actually, if they had that mentality, would be a lot better because all this extra stuff that you get in your head and you start worrying about really holds you back when all you got to do is go out and do your job and your job only. Trust your teammates.
All right, well, right now it's 14-0 in favor of the Spartans over the Vikings at halftime. But a lot of football left to be played here on a beautiful Friday night in Sanford, Maine. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have your second half kick in just a bit. This is the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox. This halftime show is brought to you by Oxford Federal Credit Union. Video feed at mbr.org.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com. Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Welcome back in on the video feed as well at MBR.org. We're live on 96.9 The Ox for the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. It's Oxford Hills versus Sanford. And right now, Sanford has a 14-0 lead at halftime over the Vikings behind two touchdown passes from Xavier Levine, one to Matthew Romano and one to Carson Bickford. But we're about ready to get this second half going here at Alumni Stadium. Only the second football game they've ever played on this field. They also play some soccer and field hockey as well here. But this is the second football game. The first one they lost 41-13 to Scarborough. They lost on the road last week, so they're back home for this one. And the Vikings hope to put up some 41 points of their own in the second half if possible.
Yeah, definitely.
At least 15 points more than the Spartans put up as we get ready to get this one started. As the Vikings do get the ball, though, so you're looking to maybe, I don't know, find Lutzka more on one-on-one. I mean, I don't think they need to change a whole lot radically just because you don't want to panic here, right? You have plenty of time.
Yeah. I mean, they may have a 14-0 lead, but it might as well be 0-0. These teams are very evenly matched, so this second half could be a completely different game.
Vikings will get the ball to start. Michael Bonang, Yannick Lutzka going to be back there deep as second half about to get underway. Again, Oxford Hills 2-0 on the year. Victories over Lewiston and Edward Little. Sanford 0-2, but their losses to defending state champion Scarborough and powerhouse Bonnie Eagle on the road last week. Certainly the toughest team the Vikings have played so far, and now they'll look to rally here in the second half. Both teams are on the field. Vikings are ready, and now here come the Spartans. About to kick this one off. First time the Vikings have been behind this
for
season.
Sanford, be number 15,
and kicking
Leighton
it off,
Bickford.
Leighton Bickford Jr.
Michael Bonang
Bonang on the far side, Lutska on the near side. Back deep to return. Oxford Hills looking to rally here. Down 14-0 at the half. Bickford has his arm up. Everyone ready? And the second half. Bickford really making sure they're ready is underway. Line drive kick. Oh, that was a great play up front by one of the up backs. That was number 32, Cade Truman, who just reached his arms out and grabbed it. I don't think that's at all what Sanford wanted there.
No, I mean, and usually in that position, you're told to just let it go back and, let your returners get it and just find someone to block. But he felt like he was confident enough to catch it, and he did. So
yeah, he reached out and snagged that and returned it all the way to midfield. So great field position for Oxford Hills after that squib kick kind of went awry for Sanford there. Colton Carson, the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers to start. 2 to his right, 1 to his left. 1st and 10 from midfield. Vikings down by 14 to begin the third quarter. They put a man in motion. That's Bonang. They'll give it to Bonang. He tried to get a block from LaFrance, didn't really get it, and maybe got a yard on the play before they blew it dead.
Handoff was to number 23.
Oh, I think they ruled his knee hit the ground for a loss of 1, actually.
I can, we're up on top of the press box. I can feel the condensation and the dew setting in just on these metal rails. And on the papers, our papers are getting a little soggy.
Right,
so
even though it's not even raining. Yeah.
I can imagine that the field is probably a little bit slippery, especially with this brand new turf.
3 wide receivers here for the Vikings, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They lost a yard because Bonang's knee touched the ground there. All right, handoff, Parker LaFrance, stiff arms a defender, battles inside the 45, down to the 44 of the Spartans. He stiff-armed the talented safety, Xavier Levine, right there.
Slowed down by Xavier Levine.
So he gets down to the 44-yard line. They need to get to the 40. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Vikings with 10:51 remaining, third quarter of action, trailing by a score of 14-0.
Territory at the Spartan 44.
Pruitt will split out wide to the right. Bonang in the slot to the right. Lutska one-on-one, as you mentioned, near side, long side of the field. Carson in the gun on 3rd and 4. They put Bonang in motion. Carson will run it himself, looking for some blocks. He gets one from Bonang. He's to the 30, 25, and he's dragged down. But the 25 that time by Nick Liston, but a first down and more for Carson.
Down by number 42, Nick Liston.
Weird to see him get caught from behind, but that might be something left over from that groin injury he's been dealing with all week.
That's a strong run, though, down to
the
24.
All the way down to the
he got the block he needed from Bonang, and that sprung him.
He really knows how to cut off the backs of his blockers. You know, they'll say a lot, follow their butts, you know, because you want to cut inside of them, and he did a good job finding that hole there.
Bonang in the slot, kind of playing that Cam Slicer role today. They put Worcester in motion. Looking to hand off Emerson Brown off right tackle, and that time nowhere to run and nowhere to hide from Nick Liston. He was able to seal the edge and track him down.
Emerson Brown wrapped up in the backfield by Nick Liston.
So Brown
will make it 2nd and 11.
Lost maybe a yard there. 2nd and long for Oxford Hills. Trailing 14-0, 9:30 clock moving, remaining third quarter. Same set as before, 3 wides, and Worcester goes in motion. Takes a snap, LaFrance up the middle. Parker LaFrance still on his feet, inside the 20, battling his way down to near the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. Parker LaFrance, a little beast mode that time, refusing to go down.
Yeah, he had someone on his back, and he was turned around, kind of running backwards.
But he still fought his way to the 17.
For a gain of about 7.
That's a tough 7-yard run by Parker LaFrance. 3rd and 3. So they're on the doorstep here.
Yeah, and a score here could really change the momentum of the game. If they score here, it's a 1-score game. So
Turner in the slot on the far side this time. Carson to run it. Up the gut he goes. Colton Carson inside the 10 for a first down.
Yeah, I don't know what was said at halftime, but they're moving the ball pretty consistently here and looking like a whole different team, like I said.
It's 1st and goal for the Vikings. They are just inside the 10-yard
yard
line.
10 for the Vikings.
This is the closest they've been to pay dirt so far in this one. Down 14-0, 8:25 to go, third quarter. Carson will have 3 wide receivers here again. Bonang in the slot on the near side. Puts Bonang in motion. Carson to run it. Gets a block. Carson inside the 5, and that's where he stopped. But it'll be second and goal.
See, this is a situation where I'd really like to see,
Caleb
you know,
Saucier on the
a
stop.
power I set come out and have him just
Colton
run it up the
Carson.
middle, but it's weird to not,
Second and
you know,
goal at
for them
the
to not
5.
have that weapon, but
Yeah, certainly. Second and goal. We've seen Emerson Brown run some tough yards. We've seen Parker LaFrance do it as well. It's Brown in the backfield this time. 3 wide receivers, Bonang in the slot. On second and goal from the 5-yard line. Colton Carson puts Bonang in motion. Carson will hand it off. Emerson Brown on the counter. Brown fighting for yards, but he only gets maybe 1. He was stood up right at the line of scrimmage that time by Doug Johnson,
Emerson Brown with the
linebacker.
handoff.
And he got a yard
Immediately
out of it.
wrapped
Third
up
and
by
goal.
Matt Romano.
Romano was there as well, but Doug Johnson led the
Gain
way.
of maybe 1. Looks like 3rd and 4.
Third and
or
goal
5.
at the 4-yard line for the Vikings.
Third
A
and
huge
goal
play here.
from the
Down
4.
14-0, 7 minutes remaining, clock moving, third quarter, 3 wide receivers for Oxford Hills. Carson on the keeper, up the middle, Colton Carson untouched, he's in, touchdown, Oxford Hills.
Colton Carson with the keeper.
From 4 yards out,
Touchdown,
it's 14-6 with
Oxford
6:52 to
Hills.
go in the third quarter. Extra point coming up from Yannick Luchka. A very important extra point. Make this a 7-point game instead of an 8-point game. Good snap, but it's dropped by the holder. Luchka rolling to his right, trying to run for 2, and he's tripped up, and the conversion's no good. It was a good snap from the holder, just straight up dropped it, so it's 14-6 in favor of the Spartans, and those little things can sometimes come back. I mean, it's still a 1-score game. We got to go for 2 next time.
right, that could come back to bite him.
All right, quick 30-second break here in the third quarter. Central Maine Community College Ham and Lumber Game of the Week, 96.9 The Ox, and your video feed, MBR.org.
Life doesn't pause when you're in pain. We understand that you want to keep up. Don't stay sidelined from making some of life's best memories. Visit the orthopedic specialists at Spectrum Healthcare Partners. We're here to keep you out there.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. The kickoff after the touchdown by Oxford Hills, fielded at the 10-yard line and bringing it out to the 20 and out across the 20 to the 22-yard line that time. Goes the return man, that's number 23 in red, Ethan Gilmet.
Ethan Gilmet with the kick return.
But the 2-point conversion, pardon me, the extra
will
point
take over
was
at
dropped
their
by the holder, and Luchka tried to run for him, was stopped. So right now the score is the Spartans 14, the Vikings 6. 6:45 to go, third quarter, but that's an encouraging drive despite the missed extra point there.
Yeah, like I said, and that drive could bring a huge swing in the momentum of this game, and hopefully the defense can get a quick stop here and put up another quick score and take some of the pressure off.
Levine in the gun, takes a snap, they'll run it up the middle, and there's not much there. Parker LaFrance all over things. As that time it went to number 28 in red, Caleb Saucier, but Parker LaFrance and a couple other Vikings in there. I think I saw number 32, Cade Truman there as well on the stop.
7 for Sanford at their 26.
They give him 3 yards on the play, so 2nd and 7 coming up. 6:20 remaining, ball at the 26-yard line for the Spartans, their own 26. On 2nd and 7, Levine takes a snap. He'll roll to his left. They love to do this. They love to roll him out. Doesn't have anywhere to throw it, but he'll run it. Ooh, and Turner got to him. maybe a little late, but I don't see a flag yet. And he's knocked out of bounds.
Xavier Levine with
Seems
the
like
carry,
they've let that
knocked out
slide
of
both
bounds
ways a little
by
bit.
J.J. Worcester.
Worcester chased him out, and then Turner kind of gave him a little hip check there at the end. And the
Third
ball
and
now
4
at the
for Sanford
29-yard
after
line. It's
29.
3rd down and 4 to go after a 2-yard run. Run pass option there. He has the option to throw it down the field or keep it himself, and he ended up keeping himself when there was no one open. 3 wide receivers, 2 to his right, back to his left. Levine takes a snap, throws far side. It is complete at the 40-yard line and dragged out of bounds at the 42. My binoculars have condensation on them, but
pass is complete. That will
pitch and
move
catch.
the
That looked like number
chains.
15 in red,
First
Leighton Bickford that
down to
time.
Sanford.
He just lofted that up there, and I was thinking to myself as soon as he released it that
Ball is now
that
up
had
at
to be
the
at least
Sanford
broken up
42.
or an interception, but he's been getting pretty much everything he's wanted this whole game. So I don't know how they're getting that wide open, but it's working.
Saucier up the middle this time on the run. He'll get it to the 49-yard line, just shy of it on the carry, and
Caleb Saucier with the
that'll
gain.
bring up 2nd down and short, I believe.
2nd and 4 for the Spartans.
6-yard run on the play, spot the
Now at
48.
the 48.
So their own
Folks, get your
48-yard line after a
50-50
6-yard run by
tickets
Saucier. 5:37 to
We'll be
go.
announcing the
Clock
numbers
moving
shortly.
3rd quarter. Levine in the shotgun. He's got multiple backs in there. And up the gut. And not much room for Megason that time as the Vikings
Ball's now on the
swarmed the ball
51,
very well there,
3rd and
Tasker. And
2
in the middle of
to
that
Sanford.
was Marcus Stone. They spotted it midfield. So they give him a couple on the play.
There is no actual 51-yard line.
51-yard line.
Well, there's a 55-yard line in Canadian football.
Right.
All right, 3rd and 2 at midfield. The run by Saucier. He's got the 1st down into Viking territory. Just a physical runner down to the Oxford Hills 45 and moves the chains. So, power run. They would have gone for it on 4th down anyway, but they converted on 3rd. 1st and 10 from the
First
Viking
down,
45.
Spartans.
Can the Viking defense get a stop here with Levine? He's made some risky throws, as you mentioned, but they've
They're
mostly
now at the
worked.
45.
Yeah, it seems like he's been getting everything he's wanted, and all the receivers have been wide open. I don't know what's going on with the coverages, but they're gonna have to figure that out.
Option left. Levine's got nowhere to hide from J.J. Worcester. No gain on the play.
All right, the winning
He's not
ticket
someone that you
for the
want to try to
50-50
fake
is
out on an
blue.
option because he knows that his job is
last
to
four
tackle you
numbers
either way. So
are
he's going to square you up and hit you
3,
whether you pitch it or
4,
not. You might as
2.
well get rid of it.
Again, the
There was
50-50
definitely nowhere to
winning
pitch it
ticket
there
is a
for
blue
Levine.
ticket.
No gain.
3,
2nd and 10 coming up.
4,
4:15 to
2,
go.
2.
3rd quarter.
Please
Vikings
come up
trail
to the
14 to
press
6.
box
But the
to the announcer
Spartans are on the move.
to claim your prize.
Levine in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Takes a snap. Rolls to his right. Throws. Caught by Bickford inside the 35 and hit out of bounds by Carson and LaFrance, but not before they move the chains on a nice pitch and catch to Leighton Bickford on the near side.
Seems like it's mostly that mid-range, deep curl comeback route that's been open. They might, I don't know if they should switch to like a cover 2 man under with the corners in man or just a straight man across the board, but they got to do something different.
Up the gut, there's a flag on the play. Megason gets some yards, but that's in the area of
James
holding.
Megason with
Personal
a carry.
foul.
There is a
Wow.
flag on the play.
So not just a hold, but a personal foul. It's a 15-yard penalty on the Spartans. A hold would have been a 10-yarder. That's 15 yards on the personal foul. That could be a number of different things. Blocking someone low when they're engaged with someone else, it's a possibility. But in any case, they'll move them way back.
Hopefully that'll slow them down a little bit.
They don't indicate what kind of personal foul, just hands in the face maybe. Anyway, moving back all the way to the 49 of Oxford Hills. So they have a long ways to go here. They'll run it. Near side, Saucier, and he is spun down out across the 45. Alex Turner got him low that time, down to the 41.
Caleb Saucier knocked down by Alex Turner.
3:38 remaining third quarter. Vikings trail 14-6. Spartans have the football. They have second down at the Viking 41. They have to get all the way to the 23, however, if they want a first down. Second and 17. Levine takes a snap. Looking to roll to his left, being chased by Emerson Brown and a couple other Vikings. Truman there as well. And now under pressure, he throws it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. It never got back to the line of scrimmage. That could very well be
the winner of
intentional
the 50-50
grounding.
Is the McGrath family.
But there might have been a receiver in the area, and I think there was.
No, they threw the flag.
They did throw the flag. Okay. Yeah. So that would be grounding.
There is a
it is, yeah.
play.
It never got back to the line of scrimmage, even though it was outside the tackle box. That is intentional grounding. So there you have it. And that'll move them back. Grounding's a loss of down also, so that's going to be 3rd and a mile now.
3rd and a country mile.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Call appears to be, it is intentional grounding against
So this
Spartans.
ball is being spotted at the Spartans'
That results in a loss of down.
44-yard line. It's a spot the foul, like you're literally the ball placed
I
in the
believe
spot,
a
and a loss of down.
Penalty on top of the loss of down.
He was being chased by a number of Vikings, including Cade Truman, and he just threw it away, and it did not go far enough. 3rd and a country mile. They'll throw it down the seam, and it's caught by Leighton Bickford. He's going to be, I think, a yard shy of the first down, but another throw in traffic that is caught by a Spartan receiver. My goodness. Leighton Bickford's going to be 4th down and about 2. All the way to the 25-yard line.
4th and 2 for the Spartans.
He had about 5 defenders around him, too. I don't know.
Clock is
He elevated and made that catch. That was impressive.
A 26-yard reception there.
Ball is at the Viking 25.
And they need to get a couple yards still for a first down. It's 4th down and 2.
Bend, don't break.
Levine on the 4th down play. Throws, and they convert. It's caught, and looking for more. Inside the 20, down to the 15 is Carson Bickford.
Pass is complete to Carson Bickford.
So they committed a number of penalties
Sanford,
today.
First down.
But it has not mattered. As somehow they went from 3rd and forever to 4th and very short. Leighton Bickford the catch. And that time Carson Bickford the catch for a first down to the 15 of Oxford Hills. And that's just demoralizing for a defense, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Tough one for Oxford Hills here. Can they bend but not break here at the very end of the drive? There's a little bit of delay on the field.
The time.
I hear it. It's going to be a clock adjustment. Right now, they're going to tick it down.
They must have forgotten to run it.
Yeah. Mark Soren says, hey, we need as much time as we can possibly get here.
First and 10 for the Spartans.
2:27 to go, third quarter. Now they'll wind the clock again if they stopped at 2:27. So it's ticking down, and here comes Xavier Levine and company. Fumbled snap. Saucier picks it up and is able to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. That was a bungled snap, and Saucier able to pick it up and run it back to the line of scrimmage at the very least.
He scrambles back to the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Seems like first and second down,
now for the Spartans
Oxford Hills is mostly dominant, and then 3rd and 4th down, Sanford's like, oh, just kidding.
Right, yeah, it's time to focus up. And
right.
Their receivers have had terrific games. 2nd and 10 here from the 15-yard line. Megason is in the backfield. But they fake it to Saucier, and now Levine rolls right, looking to throw for the end zone. Carson with the deflected pass. He knocks it down. He almost had the interception. Colton Carson was this close to picking it off in the end zone. Instead, it's going to be incomplete. Clock stops. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Broken up. There is a flag on the play.
And there's a flag, which I just noticed in all that traffic.
It's against the offense.
Possibly offensive pass interference based on where it was thrown.
I think he pushed off.
Interfered with Carson getting that pick, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like he had a clean shot at it.
Yeah, he still should have caught it.
Yeah, it was right in the breadbasket. So pass interference on the offense. That'll move them back. Minute 38 to go. But they've shown today it doesn't matter how far they get backed up. They're able to throw a deep ball and
second down
get out of trouble.
Yeah, is this the third time they've been backed up, like really far early?
It's been a bizarre type situation where, yeah.
Weirdest drive I've ever seen.
We got a timeout called by the Spartans. They want to talk it over. A minute 38 to go. Third quarter.
Timeout.
Quick 30-second break. This is the game of the week. Central Maine Community College, Hammer the Lumber, bring it to you on 96.9 The Ox and online video feed, MBR.org.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Minute 38 remaining in the third quarter of our CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox, video feed, MBR.org. It is 2nd and 25 for the Spartans, who lead 14-6 at the Viking 30-yard line. And Levine in trouble, and Parker LaFrance with a massive sack. He picked him up, and he threw him down. Huge loss on the play, all the way back to the 38-yard line.
Parker LaFrance.
That was a classic Parker LaFrance blitz and sack.
Yeah. Now they just need to not give up a huge chunk of yards here on this third and, again, a country mile.
Third and long to Sanford at the 38.
They have to get all the way to like the 4-yard line here. All right, Levine to run it. Just trying to get some of those yards back, and he'll get a few, but not nearly enough, as he is driven back by a number of Viking defenders, including a pumped-up Yannick Lutska that time. So it'll be fourth down and quite a bit. Let's see where they end up spotting it. Inside the 35 down to the 33. They need to get to the 5-yard line, basically, to get a first down, and it's fourth down here.
If you were looking at a play-by-play on paper of this game, this drive would look so bizarre.
Yeah. And other drives they've had as well where they've really backed up and been able to get out of it. But now they're apparently bringing out the punt team, although Levine is also their punter, so you never know. Bonang's back deep to return his own 10-yard line. He could also be playing kind of a deep safety role if they fake it here. So, because they have to get to the 5. So here's the punt. And here's a whistle first. And, yeah, they want a little more room. I think that delayed game's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. One time I saw, I think it was Michigan State penalty a while ago against maybe Notre Dame, had delayed game call when they were going to punt, and then on the next play, faked the punt and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because they had them so convinced they were punting because they
Levine
took away a game.
For Sanford.
Levine
is
going to fake the punt, rolls to his right, the throw for the 5-yard line, and it is caught for a first down. It was not Levine on the throw, it was Leighton Bickford on the pass, and the catch that time, unbelievably, by Caleb Saucier. I don't believe it. That pass went 45 yards in the air. And it's a first down at the 3.
The punt was actually.
Are you kidding me?
And into double coverage, too. Again, how do they keep doing this?
That's the most
first and goal
improbable conversion yet.
Line.
It was fourth and a mile. They took a delay a game. So everyone thought they were going to punt. I mentioned that I've seen it once where they fake it. And they fake it. And it's a completed pass, and it wasn't even their quarterback. It was their tight end, Leighton Bickford, who threw the pass. That was not their quarterback. That was their tight end, a junior as well. And then it was a running back, Saucier, who caught it.
Every time that they've converted on a long third or fourth down, I've been completely convinced as soon as they release it that the coverage is too good and it wasn't a good enough throw, but they've come down with it every time.
By the way, the third quarter is over, but I guess we're keeping it here as we go to the fourth quarter.
And
we got too excited.
Yeah, well, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was
shocked. Like, I mean, I think Matty, he's down there getting some video. He'll probably got a pretty good shot of that, but a rather improbable fake punt. We do have an injured player. I think it was the Saucier who caught it. Yeah, he came up limping. So Saucier is currently on his back on the near sideline. All right, but they're going to go on, of course. So 1st and goal. Levine takes a snap. They'll just hand it off up the middle, and maybe a yard that time for James Megason.
Handoff from Levine to Megason.
It'll bring up 2nd and goal at the 3.
Ball is still around the line of scrimmage.
So a painful first down conversion because Saucier is injured.
And about
but nonetheless, a first down conversion on a 4th down fake punt. And a 45-yard completion, basically, from where he was standing by the tight end. All right. Levine sends a man in motion. And Levine will run it himself. He pirouettes for the end zone. And Vikings are saying he lost the football. The Vikings forced the fumble, and they recover.
Knocked down around.
Ben, don't break.
The goal line.
And Parker LaFrance came up with the football.
Recovered by Oxford Hills.
That was dangerous for him to spin like that in the middle, and he reached out at the same time, and Parker said, yeah, no way you're doing that on me.
Vikings will take over.
I would have had the call quicker, but I cannot see anything out of my binoculars because it's all the condensation here.
Well, not only are we outside of the track here, but we're also way up above the press box.
Right.
We're pretty far away.
Yeah. Well, can they take advantage of this turnover? The problem here is they're at their own 2-yard line. 1st and 10. Put a man in motion. It's Colton Carson. Those trying to get some space up the middle with Emerson Brown, who will get maybe a yard. 2nd down coming up.
Gain of 2.
Even if they can't drive down the field and turn it into points right now, at least they kept them off the board again.
That might have been LaFrance actually on the carry. In any case, they got a yard out of it. LaFrance is in the backfield with Carson. 3 wide receivers. 2nd down, they got 2 on the play, so 8 yards to go. They'll roll Carson to his right. He's in trouble, and he's dropped down to 1. He is sacked by his counterpart, Xavier Levine. 3rd down coming up. And they have to be very careful here.
At the line of scrimmage. Correction, that would be a sack. Ball is back at the 2-yard line.
They are really up against it here. It's time for Oxford Hills to throw one down the field.
Yeah, you got to, I'd say, throw a quick fade to the outside or something here. Something that you can throw off a 1-step drop.
Pruitt's out there. Turner's in the slot. 3 wides. Need a couple extra blockers in there. They put Worcester in motion. 3rd and a mile. They're just going to run it up the middle, and that is Emerson Brown. And he'll get out to the 5, but they'll have to punt.
That's all right, though. They kept them from scoring again. They're going to, hopefully flip the field position, even though that would have to be a really long kick. And then
on this turf, try to bounce it.
Yeah.
Did a roll.
Hey, I mean, we've seen Lucia do it before.
Levine is back deep. Luke's going to punt.
Punt formation for Oxford Hills.
Luska has to be very careful here. So does the long snapper. Good snap. Luska punts it, angles it, and it bounces out about the 40. So it's going to be pretty good field position. That's going to be at the Oxford Hills 40 for the Spartans.
41-yard line. Where
defense has to come up with another big stop here if they want to stay in this game.
The defense has an interception and now a fumble recovery as well. Both times, though, it stuck them kind of far back, and that time really far back. Saucier appears to be up and walking around again, so we'll see if he comes back in the game.
And they've kept Sanford's offense out of the end zone this whole 2nd half so far, so that's a good sign.
9:14 remaining in the game now. We are in the 4th quarter. It's 14-6 in favor of the Spartans over the Vikings. Levine in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. On 1st and 10, we have a flag Someone moved early. False start
We have a flag
on
prior
the
to
Spartans.
the snap.
So move Sanford back 5
Appears
yards.
to be false start
9:14 remaining in the
against
game. It's still
Sanford.
a one-possession game, folks, despite all the absurdities, fake punts, and
5-yard
long
penalty.
conversions in traffic
Still
for
first
Levine and
down.
his teammates. In the case of the face punt, that was Leighton Bickford on the pass. They put his sibling, I assume, Carson Bickford, in motion. They give it to Carson Bickford. Carson Bickford gets out across the 40 down to the 39-yard line, so he gets the false start yardage back, and then a couple more after that, so it'll be second
Carson
and 8
Bickford
after a
stopped
7-yard
by
run
Yannick Luksha.
by Carson Bickford. And now Saucier is back in.
Second and 8.
So Caleb
Now
Saucier
at
was
the
hurt on that
Viking
fourth down
39.
completion that he caught, but now he's back in the game. As we are in the fourth quarter, I apologize, here on our MBR video feed. We are in the fourth quarter. It is 14-6. That play happened right at the end of the third, and we were just so stunned. All right, second and 8. Levine takes a snap. He'll hand it off. Running near side is Saucier, his first snap back in the game. He gets inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. 8:22 remaining in this one. Spartans lead by a score of 14-6. And a rather important third down coming up right here.
J.J. Worcester.
J.J. Worcester credited for the tackle for the Vikings.
Pick up a 4 yards.
8:08 remaining in the game.
now
14-6, Vikings trail.
The Viking 34.
Defense looking to step up and make a big play for Oxford Hills on third down and 3. Levine takes the snap. He fumbles the ball, picks it back up. LaFrance had it by his jersey. He somehow escapes. He still escapes, rolling to his left, and he finally falls over as bearing down on him was Tanner Herrick of the Vikings. But my goodness, LaFrance nearly had him. Another Viking nearly had him. He stayed on his feet, and then he just ended up slipping at the very end. And it's fourth down
Xavier
and long.
Levine goes down
These
behind
guys are
the
going to
line
give me a
of
heart
scrimmage
attack.
for a loss.
Well, yeah, because he fumbled the snap, and it never hit the ground. It went up in the air, and he brought it back in, and LaFrance was all over him. LaFrance had it by the jersey initially, and he escaped. And on fourth down, they will bring out the punt formation, mind you.
Not that that means anything.
Not that means anything. Leighton Bickford, who threw that completion last time, about the same spot he was before. This time he'll just punt it.
Let it.
Bonang will let it bounce at the 15. It'll roll down to the 10 and roll sideways from there to the 11. So the Vikings will have a little bit better field position than last time, but they're still backed up pretty deep.
Yep.
First and 10 from their own 11-yard line. A little more room to work with, though.
Bickford's punt rolls down to the 11-yard line.
6:56 remaining in the game. First and 10 for Oxford Hills from their own 11-yard line. Colton Carson in the shotgun, puts Bonang in motion, fakes the handoff. Oh, he's in all sorts of trouble, and he's sacked.
And he had J.J. Worcester down the seam, too.
He was looking down the seam, and he is sacked, I believe, number 58 in red. Demers was all over him
Sacked
again.
by Nick Liston.
Nick Liston as well.
Loss of 5 for
And
Oxford
now
Hills.
they're backed up by their own
Will make it
5-yard
second
line.
and 15 at their 6.
All they need is one big chunk, and they're right on their way. So, one big play.
6:20 to go in the game. Clock moving, trips to the right. Second and 15 from their own 5-yard line. Carson in trouble, throws it away, basically. Luska was double covered that time, and he threw it beyond everyone. Clock stops, 6:07 to go, third and 15. He doesn't have a lot of time to throw, it seems like.
No, but that's not the first time he's made a throw like that today. He's seems to be overthrowing everyone.
Third and 15, 6:07 to go in the game. Vikings down by 8, deep in their own territory. Colton Carson. He's got 4 wide receivers here. He needs time. And he drops the snap, picks it up, and he is swarmed. He does throw it away, but it's caught by the defender for a touchdown. Leighton Bickford caught it at the goal line and just walked in. And in that case, it might have been better to take a safety. Instead of 2 points, it's 6 points with the extra point pending as Leighton Bickford does it again, this time on defense. It's 20-6, 6 minutes to go in the game.
Return for a Sanford touchdown.
So the defense collapsed on him. I thought for sure he was going to get taken down for a safety. He threw the ball out of desperation and just went right into the hands of Bickford, who has an easy touchdown. And Levine on for the extra point. 20-6 is the score, and that kick is no good. It might have gotten tipped.
Extra point is no good.
So we've got a 14-point game now, 20-6, with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox and online, MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. A pick six, and you won't get much easier than that for Leighton Bickford. He caught the ball about the 1 yard line and just walked in for a touchdown. Has put the Spartans up by 16. It's Bonang on the return, and it's a good one for Michael Bonang all the way out to the 44 yard line of Oxford Hills. That's where they'll take over. Well, they're down by 14. 2-score game, got 5:52 left. You need to score quickly.
Michael Bonang with the
quickly
kick return.
And get a stop very quickly, or well, depending on how much time they take, they just have to kick the onside kick and hope. But I'm not going to count them out until it's over.
5:52 to go.
Yeah,
especially anything can happen, especially in high school where
Right, I've seen this group of kids do some amazing things, and I wouldn't be surprised to see something crazy happen.
1st and 10 from their own 44. Carson, the throw to the far sideline is caught by Bonang, I believe. And he's tackled immediately by Carson Bickford. And they'll hurry it up. He did not get out of bounds. They got about 4 yards on the play. At the 47-yard line now. Carson back to pass. Rolls to his right, being chased. He's got Bonang again at midfield, and Bonang's dragged down for a first down at the 45 of the Spartans as Caleb Saucier chased him down, but Bonang moves the chains.
To Michael Bonang.
5:18 to go in the game. Vikings, rather surprisingly, down by 14 points, 20-6 to the Spartans of Sanford. 4 wide receivers for Colton Carson on 1st down and 10 from the 45. In some trouble, but he escapes, rolls to his left, being chased, throws up for grabs. He's got a wide open Lutzka, but he overthrows him incomplete. Lutzka got behind the defense, but the throw was on the run. And
it looked good.
Yeah.
It looked good, too, from this angle.
For a second, we thought he might have that for a touchdown.
5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
4:59 remaining in the game. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings from the Spartans' 45-yard line.
To the area.
Tasker, what are you doing? Knocking over your chair.
Oops.
In any case, that incomplete pass did stop the clock. Carson's been kind of running for his life at times in this one. Got 4 wide receivers here. 4:59 remaining in the contest, down by 14 points. Takes a snap, back to pass. It set up a screen, Pretty good play call, I think, but it didn't work. Parker LaFrance caught it, but Matt Romano has just been everywhere today.
Gain of 1, 3rd and 9.
And he tackled LaFrance right away. They got 1 yard out of it. It makes sense because there's so much pressure. Why not let him in, let him through, and dump it off? But they covered it. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 9. Carson back to pass. Hit while he throws. Incomplete, intended for Pruitt. And he was hit by Demers again, who's been pressuring him all night.
Folks, if you are leaving toward Route 4, taking our south exit,
they pretty much have to convert this.
You have to take a
4th
right
and 9. 4:27 remaining in the game.
And
down 20
to up the road
6.
Just a bit to the roundabout.
Yeah, this is pretty much it right here.
Just down the road.
Trying to keep their hopes alive for Oxford Hills. Colton Carson. Turner to his right. Luska to the left. Trips to the right. 4 wides. On 4th and 9, and they're showing blitz again. Here they come. And Carson steps up in the pocket. Overthrows Lutzka again, although that was a tight window. There were 2 defenders bracketing him there. Incomplete over the middle, and that's turnover on downs.
Yannick Luksha.
This has not been working out today through the air as much as it has in the past.
44.
And with 4:20 left, the Spartans take over on downs. 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Vikings up 20-6. 2 years ago, they won both their crossover games, Massabesic and Deering. Last year, obviously, they had Scarborough and Thornton Academy. This year, kind of the middle, right? Sanford, and the middle's pretty good, as we found out today.
Yeah.
My goodness. The middle of Class A South. The Sanford Spartans. Levine in the gun. A couple tight ends in there. Puts Saucier in motion. Oh, a collision there. And able to hang on to the football was Megason. He ran into Saucier, who was ready to cross the back of the offensive line. Megason able to hang on after he took the handoff. Dowdy with a stop, and he loses a couple yards.
The defense has a good idea, though, holding them up, trying to get the ball out, because if you can strip the ball and scoop and score here, it becomes a completely new situation.
New stadium.
Vikings called timeout with 4:12 to go in the game. We'll keep it right here.
Any trash that might be around
20-6 the score in favor of Sanford.
Pick it up and
they have the football.
Receptacle.
The Vikings will have 2 timeouts left after that one.
If you find a trash can that is full,
but
please
they got
hold
forced
on
a
to
turnover
it
here or
and bring
something.
it to the next receptacle.
Crazier things have happened,
Saves
but
a
they
great
got to
deal
make
of
something
time
happen on
for our
defense.
hardworking
They almost did there when the 2
people.
packs collided, but Megson held on. Very impressive showing from the Spartans team. They kind of live dangerously with all their penalties, but they've bailed themselves out with deep balls, which will probably be something that the defense will be focusing on in practice this week if you're Oxford Hills. Just
definitely
somehow knocking those ones down. All right, Levine and shotgun out the timeout. Oh, they do fumble it. Do the Vikings have it?
They do.
They do. They're signaling they do. We haven't seen a signal from the ref yet. They do have it.
This is
handoff.
The Vikings recover the fumble. Did you see who jumped on that?
It was a fumble
I did not.
by Oxford Hills.
No one, in the NFL, they come up and make a big deal. They hold the football up. High school is handing the ref
yeah.
so fast that we can't even see who recovered it. But Megason fumbled. The exchange, quarterback to running back, fumbled, and the Vikings pounced on it. So,
got to score quick here.
4:06 left. Colton Carson and company, 1st and 10 from the 43 of the Spartans. Carson rolls to his right. He's going for it all. He's looking for Turner, and Turner can't reel it in. Good coverage on the play that time by John Garnsey, the junior corner. He was all over Turner.
Turner had to play a little defense there to make sure it wasn't intercepted.
And one-on-one, the ball was a little underthrown, I think it meant to do a go. Right?
Yeah.
Had to turn around there and make sure no one picked that off.
I like the deep deep ball, though.
You need 2 scores. Try to get one quick. Down by 14 points. 3:59 remaining in this one. 4 wide receivers for Carson. 2nd and 10 from the 43 of the Spartans. Carson rolls to his left. Gets a block from LaFrance, stays on his feet, throws short. Lutska with the catch, and Lutska dives forward to the 35-yard line. So that time he connects with Lutska for, I believe, his first catch of the game.
Pass to
I think it is.
is complete.
They've
Stop
targeted
by
him a few
Leighton
times, at least in the second
Bickford.
half, but that time they
3rd and
completed
2
to the
for
35.
Oxford Hills.
3:37 to
At the
go.
35.
A little shy of the first down, so 3rd and short here. We have a whistle, and the Spartans call timeout. With 3, that's good.
Yeah.
Stop the clock for the
Timeout.
Vikings.
Sanford.
3:35 remaining after the fumble. It was really a fumble exchange. Levine trying to hand it off to Megason, and something didn't work out there, and it fumbled on the Vikings. We didn't quite see who, but the Vikings did indeed pounce on it. Whoever pounced on it immediately handed the ball to the ref.
Yeah.
After they signaled that Oxford Hills had the football. At least when LaFrance recovered, he stuck the ball up in the air so we could all see that it was him. But 3:35 remaining, and this one's going to be 3rd and 2 for Oxford Hills at the 35-yard line of the Spartans. Down by 14, so certainly still some hope here. They have 2 timeouts left. Sanford is down to 1. And what can their offense do here on 3rd down? They have not been able to go deep in this game successfully yet. That's been the difference, kind of, really. The Spartans have connected on some deep balls, sometimes in some weird situations. As that drive that ended with a fumble did not result in points, but then the pick 6 did. And so it kind of ended up resulting in points. 4 wide receivers here for Carson on 3rd down. He'll run it, and he has nowhere to go. First man there on the stop, Doug Johnson, and it's 4th down.
With the keeper.
Loss of a couple.
4th and 6 for the Vikings.
They need to get to the 33, and they're at the 38. They need 5. 4th down for Oxford Hills. Trips to the left. Carson back to pass. And he's sacked again, and he fumbles the football. It doesn't matter who recovers. It's going to be Sanford football way back at the 45-yard line. Are they? Let's see. I think they might have said that he was down.
Carson sacked by number 58.
Yeah, he was down.
Demers.
So no fumble, but Demers sacked him, and the ball is spotted at the Spartan 45, not the Oxford Hills 45. That fumble never happened because he was down.
45.
Nonetheless, turnover on downs. Spartans football, 2:59 to go.
Just under 3 minutes in the game.
By the way, folks, your 4th quarter video stream on MBR.org is brought to you by Maine Athletic Fundraising. Find them at MaineAthleticFundraising.com and start raising the funds you need for your team today. On 1st down, up the middle, go the Spartans, and they get a few. And we have an injured player on the field. So
Megason with the carry.
Megason got the handoff.
You have an official's timeout.
They stop the clock now on the injury with 2:51 remaining. The Vikings have a touchdown. That was Colton Carson on the touchdown run. But they trailed 20-6. Carson has not had his most accurate day throwing. He entered this game 2nd in Class A North in completion percentage. Entering this contest, he had been completing 56.41% of his passes. Only Sam Knopp of Portland at 58.83%. Amongst guys with significant attempts, at least, had a higher percentage than Colton Carson, but not as accurate today. Megason walking off under his own power to a round of applause. 2:51 to go in the game. It's 20-6 in favor of the Spartans. Oxford Hills down by 14 points, and the Spartans can let that clock keep ticking as it starts again after they set the ball and wound the clock here. Spartans up 20-6. Behind 2 touchdown passes from Xavier Levine and a pick 6 from Leighton Bickford in this one. Levine back out there at QB. on 2nd and 8. Handoff goes up the middle, and not much room to run for, I believe, Saucier that time.
I think this could be a very humbling experience for this Oxford Hills team. You know, really like
Oxford Hills.
They were on top of the world. Got to bring them down a little bit, bring them back, you know, so that they can regroup, figure out what they got to do. This will give them things to work on, you know, with 2 blowouts to start off the year. I'm sure they had things to work on, but it wasn't any real issues that they could see. But this game will highlight those issues and give them something to really work hard on this week at practice.
Sanford
certainly, and
high students.
Next week it'll be a Saturday game, 1 o'clock.
Wednesday and
against
Thursday
Bangor.
will be no school for Sanford
a chance
high
to bounce back there. Bangor, an improved team. They beat Wyndham.
Fridays a
but still, they got blown out by Everett Little, who
Monday, of
transitive property. Oxford Hills blew out Everett Little. So
again, if
we'll
everything
see.
goes as planned,
Yeah. Anything can happen.
We'll be moving into the new building right
after
next
Bangor
to
gets
us,
tougher at
Tuesday,
Cheverus,
October 9th.
then they host Bonnie Eagle, they host Portland, and then they're at Wyndham to finish the year. 2:13 remaining in this one. It's 3rd and 6 for, well, now it's going to be 3rd and 11 because the entire offensive line false started. So
False start.
Move back 5 yards.
Sanford.
Will
5-yard
Levine
penalty.
and Sanford. Sanford next week, by the way,
Still
is
3rd down, 3rd and
at
11.
Edward
now
Little.
at the Spartan 44.
By the way, Sanford was without Ethan Shane today, their top wide receiver. He's at a wedding, so he's not injured. Levine has nowhere to go this time. All over him in the backfield was Cade Truman with the stop. And Oxford Hills will call their final timeout, I believe.
Xavier Levine sacked.
With 2 minutes
Loss of
remaining
3.
in this one, the Spartans lead the Vikings by a score of 20-6.
Or maybe 2.
Now at this
4th
point,
and 13.
you got to score a quick touchdown onside kick is what you would need because you're out of timeouts after that last one there.
Yeah,
Folks,
if you can get the ball back here and score within, you know, 2 or 3 plays,
very busy
it's
with
still within
lots of
reach.
New duties to
You
do
got to
here.
get it onside,
And
which is always very
please
tricky.
look around here at the
I
end
don't know how
of the
much
game
time you have to practice onside
and
kicks.
pick up any
Yeah,
flags
not
you
much.
see, even if it's not
Rarely
good,
ever.
we really
In high
appreciate it.
school football, there
And
aren't
bring it
many
to
situations
any
that really call for it.
receptacle on the way out.
Yeah.
There aren't that many
If
close
you do
games,
see a
really.
full one, just carry it to the next empty one.
Everett Little, Oxford Hills, not this
Thank you
year, but
very
the
much
previous
for
2
your
years, the exception,
assistance.
obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so punt formation time, although we've seen Leighton Bickford do some crazy things today. He's going to punt to Bonang, who's back deep. 2 minutes to go, 4th and 13. Here's the snap and the punt. Bonang chasing it near side, will let it bounce. And it'll be down by the Spartans at the 37-yard line. So that's where Oxford Hills will take over with a minute
Punt
50
goes to the
remaining in
36-yard
this one.
line.
Colton Carson and the
Next game
offense
at-
trailing by
here at
14
Alumni
points.
Stadium
20-6.
will be the varsity girls soccer team.
Sanford
tomorrow at noon.
can easily win
The
their
Sanford
next, I
versus
think,
Noble.
4 games. Edward Little, South Portland, Massabesic, and Deering before they end the year with Thornton. So they could end up with a pretty decent record, probably only losing the top 3 teams in Class A South if everything holds the form, which it obviously could not, possibly. Just have to play the games. 1st and 10 for Oxford Hills at their own 36-yard line here. Colton Carson takes a snap and rolls to his right. He is in all sorts of trouble again. He just does not have any time to throw the football right now, and about 3 players converge on him from
Carson
Sanford, and they
scrambles
sack him, including
for
number
a loss
89,
of 3,
Matthew
brought down by
Romano,
a trio of Spartans.
and number 42, Nick Liston.
2nd and 13.
In on that stop. Lost 3 on the
At
play.
the Viking 33.
2nd and long now for Oxford Hills. Down 20-6. Colton Carson, 2nd and long with a minute 13 left, takes a snap. Blitz just unblocked. No one was there to block. First man there was Doug Johnson, but Saul Demers gets another sack. He must have 3 or 4 now today. And they're going the wrong direction.
Loss of about 10, 3rd and long now.
Well, when you know they have to throw, you can pin your ears back, right?
Right.
Obviously, Oxford Hill's much better. They have the ability to run with Emerson Brown and Parker LaFrance, balance attack, and when you just have to throw it, the defense can come flying at you. They'll throw it near side, and Pruitt, boy, I thought the defensive back got there early, but no flag. Coverage on the play that time by John Garnsey. Intended for Pruitt, incomplete, 4th and 23 with 36.4 seconds to go in this one.
Pass broken up by John Garnsey.
They're going to punt.
And folks, as we near the end of the game, we'd like to thank you for your attendance.
Lutzka to line up to punt.
And also remind you to, as tempting as it is, please do not approach the new high school area or attempt to drive around it.
Lutzka to punt it away. And he just kicks it as far as he can. There's no one back to return. And it'll bounce to the 40-yard line and die right there.
It's a good punt.
It is a good punt, certainly by Yannick. 25.6 seconds to go. Sanford's going to win this one and get their first victory of the season. Again, they were 0-2 entering this game, but we knew that that record didn't mean a whole lot considering how strong Scarborough and Bonnie Eagle are. And Sanford showed us tonight that they're up there in Class A South. They're maybe not be in the top 3 right now, but they're not far away necessarily. As Levine will take a knee. Sanford going to win this one by a final score of 20-6 over Oxford Hills. They get their first win of the season and the first of the brand new Alumni Stadium. So the defense today for Oxford Hills only gave up 14 points.
Right.
Because they had the pick 6. The defense played well enough, I think, to win this game. So in terms of Goodwin Chevy player of the game,
thank you and have a wonderful
Parker LaFrance had a good game, I thought. Alex Turner had the interception, although the secondary gave up some big completions. Don't know if that's Turner necessarily. Who would you say is our Goodwin Chevy player of the game from Oxford Hills?
It's a close one. It's between Parker, Alex, and J.J. Worcester. It's really hard to say, but I think I have to give it to Parker.
Okay.
Just so consistent, always.
Parker LaFrance on defense. A defense that played pretty well today. Our Goodwin Chevy player of the game, Goodwin Automotive Group player of the game, Parker LaFrance from Oxford Hills. As they end up losing this one, though, by a final score of 20-6. We'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap things up here on the CMCC Game and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 The Ox and online, MBR.org.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com. Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations, or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
When you're hurt at work, at home, or on the field, you may think you only have two choices.
Visit the ER or wait weeks for an appointment with a specialist.
But who has time to wait? We know you don't.
We get it. It used to be hard to get in here, but things have changed.
We know that when you're in pain, you want to see the right doctor right away.
Our patients are busier than ever, so we've made it easier to get quick access to specialized orthopedic care.
We now have 2 ways for you to be seen by one of our orthopedic specialists on your time: spine access and ortho access.
If you've got back or neck pain, call us at 1-855-96-SPINE to schedule an appointment with Spine Access. You'll see one of our orthopedic spine specialists within 24 hours.
And Ortho Access is now open in Portland and Auburn for walk-in orthopedic care for recent injuries, pain, sprains, and strains.
So whether you suffered a fracture on the field or experiencing new sudden onset back pain, we'll see you now.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow, bringing you the MBR Game of the Week on the video side of things. Video feed at MBR.org. On the radio side of things, it's the Central Maine Community College and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 and AM 1450. The Ox final score today, Sanford, I'd say upset perhaps. Oxford Hills 20-6. I guess the end of the year records will reflect the true talent of both these teams. But Sanford, after starting the year 0-2, obviously shows that they're a very quality team and will probably be, making the playoffs in Class A South, and potentially, if they continue to improve, be a threat to upset someone perhaps. But I mean, what were your observations on this game from both sides, I guess?
I mean, I think that shows you how much of a different level there is between the South and the North, and I think that gives a better perspective on, where we are as Oxford Hills in the North compared to some Southern teams, and if they do make it to the state championship, what it's going to be like depending on who they have to play. This gives them a good baseline for South talent, I think.
A lot of talent here for Sanford, led by Xavier Levine, who throws 2 touchdown passes in the victory. Park LaFrance, our Goodwin Chevy player of the game on defense for Oxford Hills, and then also Colton Carson had a rushing touchdown today for the Vikings. He also threw a pick 6. In the end, it's 20-6 in favor of the Spartans over Oxford Hills here tonight. So for Alicia back in studio on the Ox, Tyler on camera here on the video field at MBR.org. He's Tasker Winslow. My name is Aaron Morse. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Signing off here from Sanford High School's Alumni Stadium. Have a good night.